Playa, mujeres fumando. Mira, tírame blani, esos nalgas de mentira. Tan brinda, que chimba, colombiana linda. Siempre con los ojos rojos de Cali, con mi amiguita Mari.
My head's in the clouds, can you bring me back down, boy? I need it. My head's in the clouds, can you bring me back down, boy? I need it. Need it. Need
Once again, gentlemen, once again. Contrary to what the Passport Sisters think, we men who travel abroad do support them. We support that they're trying to find love in other countries. We support that they're trying to build businesses in other countries, learn new cultures, raise their children in other countries. We support women no matter what race, color, or creed that use their passports. But one thing we do not support among the ladies, and even the men, but tonight's topic is the ladies, we do not support passport quiches. In every time you turn around, it's either passport Pookie or passport Keisha or passport Karen or passport Chad has gotten themselves in a pickle. Well, we're going to look at one where one sister, well, she was battling the life sentence. Then we're going to look at another passport sister who ended up, and in both cases, these women were messing with the cartels. And one ended up having to do 4 years in a Costa Rican prison. And she's going to tell her story, what happened, what went on in the prison, and how she was able to create a strap-on in prison as a LGBTQ. Shout out to all you guys that are here. Shout out to you guys that are here. Yes, sir. We're going to have a good one tonight. Get your popcorn, get yourself something to drink, get you a meal. I won't be doing too much talking on this particular live stream. I kid you not. These stories are crazy. These women are purposely putting themselves in situations that are uncalled for. Keisha, it is uncalled for. We understand you ladies want equal rights, but equal stupidity? Is this how you make your mothers proud? By being as stupid as men can be at times? So you figured if you imitate the movements of the passport Pookies and the passport Ray Rays, you won't get the same results because you're a woman? I want to say that again. You're going to notice that tonight. Women that are following the same patterns as the passport Pookies, passport Ray Rays, and the passport Paw Paws, the old dudes that do stupid stuff around the world, they really think that they will not get the same results that these offbeat men are getting. Well, these countries are letting these women know, we don't care where you're from and who you are. If you commit a particular crime in our country, you're going to do time just like a man does. Shout out to all you guys that are here. We got 26 in the we got 26 in the building. I might not be able to get through everybody's shout out because I know we got a lot of video. These stories are long. So shout out to all you guys that are here. Appreciate you. Shout out to David Dice being numero uno. I got your email today, Dave. So shout out to you. He say, family big brother, Andre, and salute to Mrs. Spence. We are praying for you. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me scroll down to my brother Raymond Turner in the building. I know Raymond is ready to see these stories. Yes, sir. Shout out to you and Poor Man 313.
You better back the fuck up out my face, goddammit. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Don't play with me.
Don't play with us. You know where we're from. We're from Detroit, Michigan. Yes, sir. What up, doe? What up, doe, everyone? Yes, sir. Shout out to my boy LJ, the Southern Vegan, is in the building as well, giving shout outs. And my brother Don, aka Don the JP, is in the building. He said over on Andre's channel. Shout out to all you guys that are watching from Andre's channel as well. Appreciate you guys over there. Going to be dropping the link for all you guys that are supporting by way of PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chats. Shout out to you guys as well. So I'll be dropping the link to Andre's channel for those that want to support her on her channel also. She's about 200 subscribers away from hitting 5,000 subs. So shout out to Andrea. Yes, sir. Shout out to all you guys that are over there, man. Appreciate you guys. Let me scroll down. There go my man right there. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing great. He said, what's up, y'all? He said, it's been a long time. I'm back. You back for a good one. Yeah, Garland, you back for a good one. Yes, sir. Bobby Coltrane of the Coltrane family is in the building. Shout out to you. Hola. Konnichiwa. For all you guys that are over in Southeast Asia, good morning to you, gentlemen. Good morning to you. Shout out to all you brothers that are over on the continent of Africa as well as Europe. Good afternoon to you guys, or good evening as well. Shout out to T-Mac. Salute to you as well, brother. Glad to see that you're here this evening. You gotta have some fun with this one, T-Mac. We're gonna have some fun with this one. And shout out to my brother Nick. Nick is in the building. Nick says, good evening, Uncle Andre. He says, salute to the fellas in the chat. Salute to you as well, sir. Salute to you as well. Glad to see you're here. He said, I'm currently in the process of getting compensated for my stroke. I hope you're doing a lot better, brother. He said, the doctor gave me too much blood pressure medication. Wow. Which caused me to have a stroke. That's the American medical system for you. They're going to push those pills. Which caused me to have a stroke, and I have stage 4, or I have stage 2 chronic kidney disease. Wow, man. Wow, I'm going to keep you in prayer in regards to that, brother. Make sure that you continue to take care of your health. And I don't say that flippantly, man. When I say I'm going to keep you in prayer, believe you me, I mean on my knees in prayer for each one of us, man. Kid you not. He said, I'm officially fully monetized on Facebook. There you go. I like to hear that. Shout out to Charles in Mexico. Shout out to Charles in Mexico doing his thing in Mexico. And shout out to Twan. Salute to you as well, Twan, being in the building and the chat. Glad to see that you're here this evening. Fellas, we're going to have a good time tonight. I'm telling you, these passport sisters are just going at it. They are going at it. Yes, sir. Let me scroll down a little further. I must be doing something right tonight. I got the professor in the building. In the building. Shout out to Professor, man. Used to live here in Colombia for quite a while in the Choco area. Now he's been in Mexico for quite a while, helping guys get their with firefighter training and other things that he's been doing in Mexico for quite a while. So he goes from place to place, but wherever he goes, people seem to be blessed. Shout out to you once again, Professor. Shout out to my man. Also, once again, Zulu, last Zulu. He said I'm the grand finale. What up, bro? Glad to see that you're here. I'm the grand finale. Shout out to my brother being in the building. Glad that you're here as well. He said, I saw the headline and came for the laughs. You already know. Came for the laughs. He said, I know I'm terrible, not like the rest of us. Welcome to the family. We about to get our laugh on tonight. Oh, these women, brother. Let's scroll down a little bit further. Let's see who else we got here. Our brother from the Nordic area of Europe. Glad to see that you're here. Activo. Glad to see that you're here. Good afternoon or good. I think it's good. Is it afternoon where you are or evening or morning where you are? Let me know what it is over where you are in the Nordic area. Shout out to you with the 25 love, man. We appreciate that. We appreciate all you guys that support the channel by way of PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chats. We really appreciate that, gentlemen. Also, let's go down. We got Bobby Coltrane, once again, of the Coltrane family in the building. You're right on cue, Bobby. This is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one, gentlemen. I kid you not. Once again, for the guys that weren't here a few moments ago, we have two stories. Both of them where the ladies were working with the drug cartels, smuggling, and come to find out what they thought men could do, and there were no repercussions. They're finding out that they can't do that. There are repercussions if you want to mess around with the wrong people. So shout out to you guys. Let me scroll down a little further. We got my brother Kofi in the building. Shout out to you also being here. We got JC. What? I'm doing something right tonight. Greetings and salutations. He say, take ownership of your health. Absolutely correct, because your health is wealth. I actually do that, man. I'm always drinking healthy teas, detoxing. I do watermelon fasts. I still do my kettlebells. I stretch. Stretching is so important to me. The older I get, the more flexible I want to be as far as life is concerned. So at being 6'3", to be able to stretch and maneuver the way that I do every morning, you know, a lot of dudes can't even touch their toes. I can touch the floor. A lot of dudes can't even touch their knees, and I can touch the floor. Almost put my whole palm down to the floor. That's how flexible and how well I take care of my flexibility getting older as well. So yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me scroll down a little further. I think I got LJ the Southern Vegan. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Let's see what else we got coming in. Make sure I don't miss anybody, such as my man, Chris Jeezy. Yes, sir. Glad to see you're here. We got 51 in the building so far. Glad to see that you guys are here. We're about to get started. Looks like I got everybody. As I mentioned before, gentlemen, as I mentioned before, I know they follow us from country to country. In many cases, city to city in those countries. I know we get tired of them pretending like they are natives in that country. But one thing that these passport sisters aren't realizing, that you just can't take that same American attitude and I can do anything I want behavior, whether you're black or white, into other countries, because they will lock you up, ladies. They do not care about what race you are. They will lock your butt up. So again, we're going to be looking at two stories tonight of passport sisters that either are still doing time or did major time because they were working with the cartels. Let's change the music up. All right. And let's get started with the videos. Like I said, you guys won't be hearing too much from Andre tonight. Tonight is a night where I get the chance to sit back and enjoy the episode along with you guys. Once again, thank you for supporting the channel by way of PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chats. Let's get started. Shout out to Fraction Jackson in the building.
There are places abroad that have no problem with throwing you in jail, and they don't care what passport you hold. So apparently this woman and her friend are in Dubai, and they see a Muslim woman wearing niqab. Niqab is the covering that some Muslim women wear that covers just under the eye and below the chin. Not only are they laughing at this woman because she is picking up her niqab so that she could eat, but they decide to film the woman and put it on social media.
So you're in Dubai and you're laughing at, Dubai, and you're laughing at, and shout out to my man, YouTubing is a habit in the building, as well as Kenny Peoples. You're in Dubai and you're laughing at the customs of these women. So you think that white privilege would transfer, huh? Big girl, you think that your white privilege translates to where you'd be able to just do anything you want in another country and get away with it. Well, let's see what happens.
To which then it was reported that the Muslim woman went to the authorities, and those vacationers were not only detained, but jailed. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times, that it is imperative that if you're going to somewhere abroad, you need to learn the laws of that area of the world. And in the United Arab Emirates specifically, it is against the law to film someone without their permission. And not
Boom. You're mocking their customs and you feel someone without their permission. And then here's the crazy part. Then you post it. Guys, most of us who are content creators know this. This is like the number one rule of content creating, right? When it comes to travel content. Never post your content while you are still in that country. Only an idiot would still be in the country in which you are mocking individuals. Anytime you see check and effect, he ain't in that country. Anytime you see Ace Live, he ain't in that country. Anytime you see Aaron, Black Man's Travel, a lot of times he ain't even in that country. Unless he's living in that particular country, of course. Realize, guys, most content creators know if I film something and it doesn't set right and I'm in this country, I can get in trouble. But these knucklehead women with passports who think that they can get away with anything have the audacity to post things while you're in that country. Have you ever noticed all the years that I've been here in Colombia, I've never posted anything about Colombia in the political sense? You know why? That ain't none of my business. It doesn't impact me. Who am I talking about getting a Colombian citizenship and I'm mocking the country that I'm trying to get a citizenship of? You think they don't see our content? You think the US government does not have monitors on our content after all these years? Yes. That's why they stop me every time I come to America and they check all my stuff. Long before they were checking y'all stuff. They've been checking my stuff for years. Every time I land in the United States, Mr. Spence, come with us. And I know they watching me as a content creator here in Colombia as well. So I'm not going to sit up here and talk about these people or mock their customs and cultures and then call myself wanting to become a citizen. It doesn't work like that. So make sure when you're going to other countries, do not break their rules. Because if you get caught up, like these women that we're going to see tonight, yeah, it's looking pretty bad. Shout out to all you guys that are here. Shout out to Jess Vaughn as well.
not only is it imperative for you to know the law, but if you're not going to respect the culture of the places that you're going, why are you going there in the first place? I've talked about this with Mexico and Jamaica and people complaining about the spiciness of the food. If you cannot respect the culture and customs of the places in which you're going, you can always just stay home.
So how do you go from doing this to then eventually getting locked up overseas? Because it sounds like in the beginning you were just doing stuff interstate.
Right.
So we got a sister right here, Passport Sis. She was pushing that weight in the States. She was pushing that weight in the States. and Passport Sis got caught up because she decided to want to push weight from overseas. Let's see what happens.
So I was just doing stuff interstate, fell back from him, had not spoken to him in a while. And, you know, he reached back out and he was like, do you have a passport? And I was like, no. He's like, well, get a passport. I want to, you know, take you on vacation. I want to take you out of the country, get a passport. Well, I didn't know anything about a passport. Didn't know how to get a passport. I had to find my birth certificate, my social security card, my birth certificate. I remember it was all crumbled up. Back then you filled out the application and you had to mail your original certificate and social security card off with a copy of your ID and all of that. And my birth certificate was so bad, they mailed it back to me and said, we cannot use this. And I realize now that was God saying no. Okay. And we're talking weeks, you know, so he's like, you know, patiently waiting on me to get this while he's doing whatever he's doing, but he's keeping in touch with me and, you know, kind of pulling me back in. So I had to apply for a new birth certificate, wait for that to come back in. A couple more weeks went by. Then I finally got that.
How do you tear up your birth certificate? Your birth certificate is an item that you rarely touch in life. Your birth certificate is something that you rarely even touch in life. How do you tear your birth certificate? Some of these Keishas, man, they can't even take care of a social security card and a birth certificate. And remember, we had a couple weeks ago, we had the one Keisha had the passport look like the dog bit out a page of her passport. How do you? I don't get it. I do not get it.
That mailed off, you know, for the passport again. And then finally now, you know, my passport comes. And I'm sure at least a good 6 months has passed, right? And he was like, you know, I'd like to, you know, go on vacation with you, take you out the country, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we book a trip to St. Lucia. He ends up not coming, right? So he does not come, and I end up in St. Lucia with another group of ladies, not knowing that they were there for the same thing that I was there for, which was trafficking. And at that point, we're not trafficking marijuana or money, we're trafficking liquid cocaine. And of course, I didn't know that, you know? So I'm in St. Lucia. I'm supposed to be there, I think 4 days. I end up being there 7 days. And, you know, he's having somebody else explain to me that he wants me to, you know, bring this package, right? Okay. So now I'm used to getting whatever package and coming back home. Well, they want this package to go to England. So I have traveled from Atlanta, Georgia to St. Lucia. I'm on this island, and then I'm supposed to be getting this package from this island and traveling to England. I'm like, are you crazy? But now I'm here, and it's like I'm stuck, you know, because I had a one-way ticket there. Didn't realize that. So it was things like that where it's like, how could I be so naive or so stupid, right? So we get ready to go, and they give me these little juice boxes. It's like dozens of these. Have you seen like the little kids have like the little high C juice boxes of like apple juice or different little juices? And so they're giving me cases of those to take along with different stuff. Like I'm going to go visit somebody in England with these cases. And they said, you don't have to worry about, you know, the dogs or security or anything because of what it's aligned with. A dog can pass you and it won't smell it. And sure enough, when I was in the airport, a dog passed me and never barked, did not smell it. Right. So I go from this little plane in St. Lucia, and then I fly over to Martinique. And then we go from Martinique and I'm heading to England. It's supposed to be a straight flight. So I go through customs in St. Lucia. I go through customs in Martinique, no problem. I get on this flight and I'm headed to England. Okay.
Okay, before we go any further, for all you guys that weren't here earlier, this young lady is, she knew a guy from the past when she was moving weight in the States. She lost connection with him. Years later, he says, hey, you got a passport. She's like, what's up? We about to handle something outside the country. So she thinking that she's just going on a regular little vacation, but she kind of knows who she's working with. So she's playing dumb, but she know that this dude was her weight, the dude that helped her move that weight back in the day. So she's trying to pretend like, I just didn't know. I thought it was just a regular trip. So let's continue on just to keep you guys up to date on what's going on. And shout out to my brother Will, my neighbor here in Colombia. He says, salutations, Andre and Andre in chat. Please smash the like button. Thank you very much, gentlemen, especially over here and on Andre Wallace TV. Support the channel by way of PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chats. Yes, sir, gentlemen. Thank you very much for supporting by way of PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chats. He said, wow. He said, what did I walk into? He said, I guess common sense is not common. Stay strong. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's continue on, gentlemen.
Midst of it, they come across the air. They're speaking French. I don't know what they're saying, but they are stopping this flight. So they didn't turn the flight around. They land the flight like in another island, right? So we land in this island and they're looking for this African-American woman with a bow. I had a bow. I was dressed, very nice, professional, with my hair pulled up with a bow. And they had all of us get off the plane, and we get off the plane, and then they asked me to step out. And then that's when I realized they stopped the plane for me. Okay. So back in Martinique, they had stopped someone else that had those same containers. And from my understanding, some days prior to that, somebody else had stopped someone with those same containers. So this woman that was traveling was somebody that had gotten arrested before for drug trafficking. And her record, I guess, was in the system. So they were like, oh, we need to check her. And they checked her. And they said, well, we just let somebody else through with these same containers, which is what made them literally stop this plane.
So they pull you off the plane. What happens?
So they pull me off the plane and they want to start going through my things. And they're like, do you know what this is? Where'd you get this from? And I was like, oh, I just got it so I can take it, to family in England. Who's your family in England? What's their name?
It's amazing how they shipping stuff from drugs from the Caribbeans to England. Remember, we were watching the video last week or 2 weeks ago of the two young ladies that are going to be sentenced this month. And the least that they're looking at is 6 years. They've already been found guilty. The least that they're going to get is 6 years. They're from England and they're in Jamaica bringing drugs from Jamaica. So we got another passport, sis, bringing drugs from the island. They stopped the whole plane. They didn't even recognize her. They recognized the containers. That's the crazy part. They recognized the containers from the last arrest that they had. Shout out to my brother Will over on PayPal with the $5 love. Appreciate you, brother. And Willa says this, shout out to you, brother, being in the building. He said, only Keisha will be a drug mule on retainer for El Chapo. For real, seriously, man. I don't know what these women are thinking. They play so naive. I didn't know. I didn't know. Let me not interrupt. Let's continue on. Like I said, this is just one of two passport sisters we're going to look at tonight.
Address. So of course I didn't have like any of that information. Who did you get this from? I don't have any of the information of who I got it from, right?
Remember this part. This is going to come back up again tonight, gentlemen. When they ask, don't forget, Where was your address where you stayed? I don't know. Who did you get this from? I don't know. Don't forget this. This is going to come back up again.
Because I don't know these people, things are just being passed to me. And so, and I remember that night, while they were talking to me, they were trying to like interrogate me. I kept falling asleep. And so they were like, she must be on some drugs, you know. So when she goes to the bathroom, we need to watch her and see if she's passing anything or whatever. I wasn't on drugs. I think just from the shock of it, my body was shutting down. So I couldn't even stay awake for the interrogation, you know. So I think the fear was making me go to sleep. So they put me in a cell, and that was my first time, you know, ever being in the cell or whatever. And the next day they said, okay, we're going to transport you back to Martinique. You know, they said, but you're getting ready to do 20 years because you have how many millions of dollars worth of street value of cocaine?
20. She looking at a 20 piece. She looking at a 20 piece. You guys have heard me tell my story. She looking at a 20 piece. I'm in the feds. I'm just getting in there. For those that hadn't heard this part of the story, some of you guys have heard this story repetitively. I'm just getting in the feds. I've been sentenced to 10 years. I'm sad than the mama. Now, mind you, I was looking at 135 years, between 135 to 165 years. That's what my indictments and everything else and the gun charges and the drugs and all that combined, run it wild, I'm looking at between 135 to 165 years. I get a 10 piece because a lot of it they couldn't prove. I wasn't around for that part. They couldn't prove the guns because it wasn't my home. And they couldn't prove that safe was mine. So I'm looking at 10 years. I get in the feds and I'm playing dominoes with some old dudes. And the old dudes say to me, how much time you get, young blood, young man? And I'm sad. I'm only been in the federal prison in Georgia, Jessup, Georgia, like 4 hours outside of Atlanta, for about 4 or 5 days. I'm sad. I'm telling the old dudes while I got my dominoes in my hand, man, I'm looking at, I got 10 years, man. I got 10 years. Old dude turned to the other old dudes. Hey, did you hear what he said? He got, man, he about to get out, man. He going home. I look up from my dominoes. I said, y'all didn't hear what I got 10 years. Yeah, young man, you going home. You all right. You good. Go on, play your domino. I'm looking like, man, I put my dominoes down. I say, bruh, how is it that I'm going home if I got 10 years? Them old dudes start running off their numbers. 24, 64, 35. And all these dudes were over 50. I said, yeah, I picked up my dominoes, kept my mouth shut, and I didn't shed another tear in the feds. I was good. Yeah, go on, take them dominoes, dog. Yeah, go on, take. Yeah, this is what we gonna do. This is what we gonna do. I started realizing, man, my little measly 10 years was nothing compared to the numbers that I was hearing. Some dudes had all day. Some dudes will never see the sun again. So for her to do a 20-year bid in another country, mind you, I'm in the feds in the States. But to be doing 20 years in another country, yeah, let's finish listening to this one. Shout out to all the Theo Dusties. That's what this is. This is one of Theo Dusties. Shout out to Theo.
and you're getting ready to
Praise the
do
Lord, brother.
20 years. And I was like, I'm not getting ready to do 20 years. I'm thinking to myself, they don't know who I am, and who I know. Like, I am not getting ready to do 20 years, right? So they transport me back to Martinique. And that's when I encountered the other Americans that they stopped in the airport. And that's when, I get to go in front of the judge. And in the meantime, my family's looking for me because I'm not responding, they can't find me or whatever. And I'll never forget, I had a conversation with the judge and she said to me, how do you feel about breaking up homes, destroying marriages, killing people's mothers and fathers and children? How do you feel?
Oh, anytime the judge tries to guilt trip you, that means the judge is about to lay the hammer. Because that judge feels like you breaking up homes, you creating robbers and thieves with your drugs, you destroying our communities. Oh yeah, you looking at that bit.
I was like, I don't do drugs. I don't even smoke. Like, I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I didn't put a gun to anyone's head. So what do you mean? How do I feel? I don't feel any kind of way because I don't have any control over that. So I am not responsible for anyone's home, being broken up or anyone dying or having any issues. If they're taking drugs, it's because of them. So she said, oh, really? She said, okay, well, I'm going to let you sit and think on that. And maybe the next time I see you again, you'll have a better response for me. And I was thinking to myself, this lady's crazy. I'm not sitting.
Keishas don't know how to be strategic, do they? No couth, no ability to negotiate. Instead of letting the judge talk, here she go. Telling the judge, I didn't put the drugs in their hand. They did it on their own. Even though that might be true, this is not the time to be arguing with a judge that could put you away for 20 years. That's how stupid some of these, yep, you called it. You called it. No sense of accountability. You called it 100%. I didn't have to say anything.
Anywhere, I'm going to call my folks and be out of here. Well, I sat for 2 years before I saw that judge. And so I was, at this point detained in Martinique, in a country where they speak French. People know very little English. I took French in high school. I took Spanish in high school. I don't remember any French or Spanish. And they were the same way. They took a little bit of English here or there. They didn't remember anything. So here I am being detained in another country. You do not get a phone call. Okay. They're like, when a missionary comes to see you, you can ask them for some paper and, see if they'll mail your family a letter.
You don't get a phone call. The missionary might come, and in the name of the Lord, they might send a letter to your family who you hadn't spoken to in years. And because you were running off at the mouth, the judge gave you 2 years to just sit there before sentencing. Yeah, that accountability comes with a cost.
Or something. The food is completely different. I'm in a place now where you're taking showers outside. Their showers were like that, something when you go to like a beach or, the pool, there's no hot water, and all the toilets sit in the floor. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Right. I was like, I'm an American. And
she's still, after 2 years, she's still hollering at, I'm an American BS. For all us men, we know that I'm an American BS don't mean nothing outside of America.
Y'all need to let me go. No, you're an American and you brought drugs into our country. You're going to sit for 20 years.
Hey, friends, listen.
She got 20-year bid. Look how old she is now. She looked like she's in the mid-40s or almost 50. Not this one right here, but this one right here. Look like she's in her 40s, going on her 50s. 20 years gone. Gone. Because she didn't know how to shut her mouth.
I was like, I'm an American and y'all need to let me go. No, you're an American and you brought drugs into our country. You're going to sit for 20 years.
Hey friends, listen, so I feel like I'm gonna hold a lot of y'all's hand when I say this. If you get into some shit abroad, the U.S. Embassy is not gonna help you. So I was watching a video yesterday of a black woman who is currently facing life in prison in South Korea. Something that has to do with drug smuggling, drug trafficking, something with drugs. Now, I couldn't fully keep up with the story because it doesn't go in sequential order, really. There's a lot of things missing in the story. However, what I did see was a lot of y'all in her comments talk about just contact the embassy. Baby, that's not what they're there for. If she lost her passport, sure. If she needed an emergency flight out while not facing criminal charges, sure. And I feel like every 3 to 6 months I come on here to let y'all know that U.S. embassies are not set up for that. They cannot help you evade law in other countries. I moved abroad in 2015. I've lived in multiple countries and I did an entire series on the worst of living abroad, the worst of living in Mexico, China, Egypt. And in my Egypt video, I talk about how I had a situation where my passport was stolen by a school that I was working at. And they were like, yeah, here's a list of lawyers. And I believe that's exactly what they did for her. They gave her a list of lawyers and said, good luck and Godspeed.
That's exactly how the U.S. Embassy do you when it comes to crimes. They'll give you a list of lawyers. They will not even hire the lawyers. They will not contact the lawyers. You don't even know if this is an old list that you're getting. I'm serious. Let one of y'all get in trouble in Colombia. You're going to sit in that jail in Colombia. Well, I'm going to call an embassy. Embassy can't do nothing for you. They're going to give you a list of lawyers, probably some lawyers that's probably not even practicing anymore. That's how old that list is. You go get that list. They are not paying attorney fees. They're not set up to do that. They are not paying attorney fees. No, they're not going to come and fight on your behalf. You get in trouble in Colombia, you're going to do that bit. And if you think that you can run, go on run. You didn't see how many white boys that already got extradited from the United States to Colombia? I'm going to say that again. You think that you could run back to the United States? We've seen how many white boys over the last couple of years got extradited from the States back to Colombia. So ain't no running back to the States talking about I done did this. I'm gonna run on back. Y'all ain't gonna catch me. Catch me if you can. I'm the gingerbread man. I'm telling y'all, man, it don't work like that. That whatever America told you that's got you believing that because you're American, you got this invincible superpower shield, it's not true. They will lock you up in any country. I kid you not. What's your question, Andrew, if you don't mind, brother? Shout out to you being in the building. Shout out to Twan being here. Shout out to Bobby being. All you guys are here. Shout out to all you guys being in the building. Mr. Double O says, he said, did she really sit for them 20 years? Yeah. I did the homework on it. She did that bit. She did that bit. Will says this. He said, correct. The U.S. and Will, believe you me, if anybody knows about this, Will knows for working in the military behind the scenes, and he knows things that most people don't know. And he has attorneys down here that he works with when it comes to his relocating. And Will knows this. So if anybody can tell you other than myself, Will, T-Mac, and a bunch of other brothers that live down here can tell you. Correct. The U.S. Embassy will not get into the host country's visit. They will contact your family. That's it. But you're going to jail or prison in that country. There is no get out of jail free card. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Andrew said, would it be smart to go to a non-extra? No, The smartest thing, Andrew, is to just don't let any of us do crazy stuff, do something stupid. I give you a perfect example. Many of us are doing high blood pressure medication. It runs in your family. High blood pressure is a silent killer. So you take your high blood pressure medication. You got to make sure that you bring a copy of your prescription to certain countries, because you could be arrested for high blood pressure medication. You got to make sure that medication is out and it can be seen before you even go into that country. You got a copy. Andrea, keep a copy of my prescription with us in more than one language. If that language is in this, like when we went to this past few months ago, we went to the island of Caracas. I mean, Curacao, my bad. Curacao, not the island of Caracas, but Curacao. Off the coast of Aruba, between Aruba and Venezuela. It's a Dutch island. It's not all English there. We made sure that we had a copy of my prescription in whatever language that need to be translated in that country. If we look up a country that says you can't bring anything in this country, we found out what the rules are when it comes to medication before we go to a country. We're not just coming to Southeast Asia and we're just gonna go into Thailand. We're just gonna walk into Indonesia and not do our homework. That's not gonna happen. My point is, we have to do our homework, gentlemen. But when it comes to this smuggling that these ladies are doing, yeah, that's not even us anyway. Let's let the sister finish.
Once you step foot outside of the United States soil, you are bound by the laws of that international land. The concept of a jury of your peers, of a speedy trial, even the right to speak to an attorney.
Excellent suggestion, T-Mac. I'm going to use that. T-Mac says some countries, the prescriptions are not enough. And that's why we do our homework, because you're 100% correct. You are 100% correct. Prescription is not enough, and you will still get locked up. He said, before I go to Japan, I write them for permission 2 weeks ahead of time. T-Mac, could you put in the comment section who you actually write? Who do you write there to actually get permission in Japan? That might be the same case in many other countries. So if you have any suggestions, put in the comment section and we'll discuss that with the guys on this episode.
Are your rights in the United States. So understand, if you get into some shit abroad, this not gonna save you. This might, but this not gonna save you.
All right, so we got past the first sister. Now for the sister that we have on the thumbnail that went to jail for working with the Colombians, got locked up 4 years in Costa Rica. I'm going to remove this. She got locked up 4 years in Costa Rica. She's going to share her story and what the heck happened to her.
Dead ass. When you don't have a plan, like right out of high school, that's just what happened.
She was 18 years old when all this went down. 18 years old. Let me make sure I got all the super chats. Looks like I get everybody. Let's continue.
Happened to me. I didn't have a plan. Nobody was pushing college, so where I end up at? Locked up. So as soon as I get out of high school, basically ended up in jail. So the first time I did it, did I ever tell you this story?
No.
The first time I did it, I
First time you did what?
went to Costa Rica.
Okay.
So
she has done this muling more than one time, and she finally got caught.
first time I went to Costa Rica, I was broke, right?
Okay.
So my brother had just had his accident. So my family life was just all over the place. I'm out of high school. Nobody was pushing college on me. Nobody was pushing. There was no push to do anything. Basically, it was like all growing up, it was, you know, when you get 18, get out the house. That's all we heard. You turn 18, you gotta get out the house. You gotta get out the house, but get out the house and do what? You know what I mean? If I was gonna go to college, that's some shit I had to figure out on my own. Well, I don't know what you're gonna do, but at 18, you getting up out of this house. Well, by 18, we ain't had no house, no home, or nothing like that. We was, you know, spread out all over the place. And my brother, like, shortly after I graduated, and however I graduated, that was a miracle. But shortly after I graduated, he had the accident. So, you know, it was really bad. So my mom had to stay at the hospital with him. We always there for the most part. Then I'm back and forth going to New York, you know, staying with my god brother, just on some broke stuff, doing all kinds of strange things for a piece of change, right? Some real. So then my cousin approached me with this situation, like, yo, you want to go to Costa Rica? You can make, you know, some bread. You just go there, bring back some, you know, some. So then my cousin approached me with this situation, like, yo, you want to go to Costa Rica? You can make, you know, some bread. You just go there, bring back some, you know, some weight, and you get broken off. And I'm like, well, hell yeah, because I'm broke as a joke. All right, so he introduced me to the man, right?
Okay.
And he breaks down how it's supposed to go. So the man helped me get my passport. So I got my passport the same day. So when you go, like in New York, I had like, was it fake? I think it was like fake flight itinerary or whatever. But if you go to the passport agency in New York, or any major passport place, you can get your passport same day. So I got my passport same day, and then I was on a flight. I ain't never been out the country or none of that. On a flight to Costa Rica.
Dang.
I ain't even never heard of Costa. I didn't even know Costa Rica, and that's crazy because in geography class, I think we did have to do a map of the world, right? And we had to draw all the countries. You had to learn about all the countries.
Yeah.
I ain't remember no Costa Rica. I didn't even know what the hell that was, but I'm in Costa Rica on something like, now everybody hear it. Costa Rica's all exotic and beautiful, and it is beautiful, but now everybody know about Costa Rica. Anyway, I'm in Costa Rica somewhere, get picked up from the airport. I'm with the man's girl. So his girl live out there, his mom live out there. Pick me up from the airport, take me to this place called Cahuita. I'm in Cahuita. Cahuita's like this little village type of place, like right outside of Limon. Limon is like the section in Costa Rica where the blacks are. So they speak patois, they have their own little carnival. So it's like baby Jamaica or something like that in Limon. And then Cahuita is like the country of, you know, little countryside, black sand and all of that good stuff. So I'm stayed there. Now I'm there, it's Christmas. So back home, I ain't talked to nobody. I was there for 10 days. I ain't talked to nobody. Well, my cousin, of course, he knew. And then, you know, my closest cousins, my sister cousins, they knew. But that's it. They ain't tell the family. And so it's like we would get together on New Year's. My family was doing like New Year's. We do like a seafood thing. And everybody like, oh, where's Nick? Like, it's silent. Don't nobody know where. For 10 days, nobody knew where I was at. I'm gone. I think they was about to put out a missing person on me or something.
You see how stupid that is? A couple of things happened. We're going to come back to her video, of course. It's a long story, so we got it all. And it is from one madness to the next madness. 3 things happened in this young lady's life at 18. She was bold enough to go, she was bold enough to go to another country that she had never been to before, never explored before, never muled drugs before, and she hasn't communicated with none of her family, except for the ones that were involved in the drug trade. She doesn't know who it is that she's getting the drugs from. All she knows, she get off the plane, and some people came and picked her up and took her to a small town in Costa Rica. 2, American families do have that habit of pressuring young people to get out the house at 18. That is not common around the world. I'm gonna say this again. All you dads, that thinking about having kids, are you men, let's put it like this, that are thinking about having women in other countries and children in other countries. And if you think the women in other countries are going to let you put her son out when your child gets, or your daughter, when that child gets 18, that's an American thing. I know Colombians that own 3-4 Airbnbs and still live with their parents. I know Colombians that are engineers and architects still live with their parents. They will tell you, if I'm not married, I'm not moving. And their parents will tell you, if they're not married, they're not moving. If they want a sex life, they got all these thousands of 1 hour, 4 hour hotels around Colombia to where they can have all the sex they want, since they can't have it in their parents' house. But for the most part, most people in South America do not leave the house at 18 years old. That's an American thing. So if you think you're gonna go, my point is, if you're gonna go to another country and marry somebody, have a child. Well, not marry and have a child. That child gets older. You think that child's gonna move out at 18? That's not gonna happen. That's an American thing, bruh. That's some US BS. Number one, she traveled to another country and nobody knew. Number two, that 18-year-old, that pressure that our parents put on us to leave at 18. Number three, she came from the same community that many of us come from that don't prepare you for what's going to happen at 18. They tell you to leave at 18, but they don't prepare you. A lot of our parents say you either go get a job, go to college, or go into the military. But they rarely help you with either one of those. Job, college, or military. But you guys who are in the military, you take it for granted that, hey, my family that's not common in the neighborhoods that we grew up in. There would have been a lot more brothers and sisters that would have took advantage of the military if their parents had prepared them, whether with ROTC or whatever it was in high school, to prepare them and let them see the value and the benefits of military over time. So don't assume that, hey, I got in. You did. Fortunately. Because a lot of times our families will tell you to get out at 18, but don't tell you about how to get scholarships, how to get Pell Grants for colleges. All they do is tell you got to go to college, you got to go to work, or you got to go to the military. But they do not prepare you for either one of those three. Let's continue on so I can see how she got caught up, because that's how I got caught up. Pushed out at 18. Fortunately, I had my own place at 17. I didn't even wait to 18. I had my own place at 17. But then when economic straits came, I focused on what was going on in my community. I could have went to the military, but nobody informed me of that. Nobody showed me the benefits of that. I could have went to college, but nobody in my family had gone to college. So, hey, nobody informed me the benefits of college. I just lost my job. And so I reached out to some of the old school drug dealers in the community that I knew for years since I was a kid. And they were the ones that introduced me to the game. It's amazing how the Black community, the older ones, were able to introduce me to the game. But when it came to introducing me to the military, I had nobody. When it came to introducing me to college, I had nobody. When it came to introducing me to a solidified job at that time period at 18, I had nobody. But when it was time to be introduced to the game, everybody had something to say. Everybody had weight for me. Everybody had poundage and O's for me. Everybody had cakes for me. Everybody know how to show me how to cook it and whip it up. Cook it in a pot, cook it in the microwave. It's amazing how all this information came about when it was time for me to do something dastardly. But in my neighborhood, when it came to do something good at 18, all you were told is that you got to get out at 18. Shout out to Will. Will says this. He said, Dre, glad you brought that up. He said, most Colombian parents will not let you sleep in the same room there if you're not married. I was telling a brother this yesterday. I was talking to, today. Shout out to my brother, a black Muslim, my tutor, right, with Theo's class. And we were just talking, just in general. And I said, this is how Colombians work. True Colombian families, not them raggedy families that y'all like to hang out with. A true Colombian family, if that woman comes to your Airbnb, let's say your home. Let's say you live here like Will or T-Mac or J. Clyde, right? Any of you brothers that live here in Colombia, this is how it works. Woman comes over to your house. She lives with mom and dad. She's 27. Great job, good person, great parents. She comes to stay with you tonight. That's night one. Maybe a couple days later, a couple weeks later, she's spending the whole weekend with you. That's strike two. Before the third time happens, many Colombian families will tell you and her, if she go back to your house and stay overnight in your house, and T-Mac and all y'all confirm this, if that woman stays in your house, her parents will tell her, come get your stuff. And they won't say it mean, come get your stuff. That's your man. And they will tell you, that's your woman. We don't play that here in Colombia. We don't play that just she going to your place, sexing it up, and then come back to our home to live, and then go back to your place, sexing it up, and then come back to our house, and we pay the bill. No matter how old she is, no matter how great her career is, no matter how good if she's such a good woman, and you such a good man, you such a good catch from America or from Europe, those women in real families, real Colombian families, you ain't no Colombian female be going back and forth sleeping in y'all bed. That's another sign that you were the trashy Colombiana. I'm gonna say that again. That's another sign that you were a trash Colombiana. You don't, these families here, you ain't gonna just be, this is a conservative Catholic country. You think that you're gonna be in her parents' face, come and have her leave in the Uber, come over to your spot, set you up, leave, then a couple days later, stay the whole weekend over there, set you up. You think that, Colombians do not play that. By the third or fourth time that happens, the parents are telling her, pack your ish, that's your woman. Sir, that's your man, that's your responsibilities. That's how Colombia works. Them trashy chicks that y'all deal with, y'all think that that's how Colombia, no, that's not real Colombia. That's why we trying to tell y'all, do not judge Colombia by Medellin or Cartagena. Real Colombia, they don't play that. They daughters sleeping around like that. They do not play that down here. If we gonna keep you in our home until you 32, or until you get ready to get married, or until you get ready to get in a serious relationship, that does not mean that you just go out there, sex up somebody every week and every weekend, and yet you living in our house as a grown woman. Colombians don't play. Y'all crazy. Y'all got Colombians effed up, bruh. Y'all got Colombians F up. They do not play that here at all. T-Mac says this. Let me scroll back to T-Mac. He said, you can have all the sex you want. They just don't stay the night. That's exactly what you do. He ain't never lied. Enjoy all the sex. But that overnight staying at your spot, your Airbnb, baby, stay with me the whole time. That's why I be knowing y'all be with some trashy Colombianas. Because real Colombianas, they ain't even in the habit of staying overnight. They know their parents ain't gonna dare let them stay overnight in no dude's house. That's a great way of putting it. That's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. They do not play that. He said they might know that their daughter is sleeping around, but they don't want them to embarrass the family by sleeping overnight. Absolutely correct. One of the things that Andrea was telling me when we first got together, The reason why she wasn't out there in them streets, even while she was in Medellin, and she wasn't out there wilding and everything, and she was in Medellin after college, living by herself for 2 years, and her uncle, and they had their own company. Andrea used to have her own company, and Andrea said, I did not want to dishonor my father's name. Even though my family's back in Cali, I don't want anybody to even imagine they could disfame my family's name by sleeping with me and having me all up in their Airbnb. She said, and I had a bunch of American friends. She said, but I refuse to let somebody disfame my family's name with my behavior. Shout out to Julian. He said, hi, I'm looking for a serious relationship. No passport bros who like prostitutes. Thank you. That's serious. Yep. So when the women, so if you're looking for something serious in Colombia, I'm serious, guys. If y'all looking for something serious in Colombia, quality women, you ain't gonna get her to stay overnight like that. You get all, like he said, you get all the sex you want, but staying overnight, no. So let's go back to the sister story. I'll shut up. Like I said, y'all hear from me just a little bit tonight, but the sister is telling her story. So let's bring that beat back. We got quite a bit to look at.
I was there for 10 days. I ain't talked to nobody. Nobody.
She's in Costa Rica right now, 10 days. She's muling drugs for the first time, and she hasn't even talked to anybody in her family. Her mother didn't even know.
Well, my cousin, of course, he knew. And then, you know, my closest cousins, my sister cousins, they knew. But that's it. They ain't tell the family. And so it's like we would get together on New Year's. My family was doing like New Year's. We do like a seafood thing, and everybody like, oh, where's Nick? Like,
true.
It's silent. Don't nobody know where. For 10 days, nobody knew where I was at. I'm gone. I think they were about to put out a missing person on me or something.
Dang.
But yeah, so 10 days. I'm in Costa Rica. Christmas Day, I'll never forget. It's hot as hell, and they got like Santa Claus decorations, but it's hot. I've never experienced. I'm used to being in New York.
Right.
It's cold. You know, it's Christmas time, snow, cold, and I'm like, that's too hot for Santa on this beach.
Right.
But yeah. So I spent Christmas that year on the beach. This is before Costa Rica was popular.
Okay.
And a destination place. I mean, maybe rich people already knew like to go there and do some whatever, but nah.
But it wasn't given like all inclusive.
No, it was nah. I wasn't giving Aruba. Like okay. Not then. Like not how it is now. But I was kind of like isolated. You know, they made sure I ate. I stayed in like this little, because it's underdeveloped, so it wasn't like running water, so to speak. It was.
What? So you couldn't wash your ass?
It was.
What are you talking about?
There may have been, but it like come out of a pipe, but cold. Like they didn't have like hot water. It was like, it was crazy. What? That first trip was crazy. The whole living situation. I think we had lamps. Like it wasn't. I don't know. They had me like a little lab rat or something. Like that joint was crazy. Anyway, I'm there 10 days. For the most part, I was left alone. But they didn't treat me bad. Like I wasn't in no hostile situation. It just was like, you here to do a job. Like we're not your friends. You know, you're a little worker.
Did the people you went with, they spoke Spanish?
I didn't go with anybody. I went alone.
They just sent you over there?
Yeah, they just sent me over there. How did they identify me when I got to the airport? I just looked like that nigga that needed to be. I looked like the one that they was waiting on. Like they had my flight information, so they knew who they was waiting on. You know, maybe there was a description of me. I don't know. Maybe old boy told them what I had on type thing. So I was identified, picked up, and driven all the way down. Because like the airport was in a place called Alajuela. So from Alajuela to like Cahuita, that's like going from, shoot, that drive was sick. That's like going from, let's say Charlotte to like, I want to say probably like Richmond or DC, something like that. Okay. That's about the distance from the airport to where I ended up staying those 10 days. Then came back to like the city part. Did I get bagged up? But let me tell you how I got bagged up. All right. So they lay out a tray, right? So the Colombians end up coming. So now the Colombians are there and they don't speak English at all. It's straight up Spanish. So now I don't know what they talking about, but they're getting the pack ready for me to, put it on my legs. So they layer the bottom. So it's like a tray, like a bacon tray, so to speak. And they layer it with, so the reason why I had to stay there for 10 days was because to not trigger anything. Nobody goes to Costa Rica for a few days and come right back. Like, what are you doing? So it had to seem like a vacation. And that's what he was telling me. You go, act like you're on vacation. They ask you any questions. You went to see your family, all that good stuff. That's what I'm talking about, booty. All right. So I blend in with this old couple, right? Well, that's what I'm thinking I'm doing. I'm blending in with this old couple. So you got to show your passport. They ask you questions. Who did you go with? Well, they pulled me aside.
Damn.
They pulled me aside because, mind you, I'm 18, right? So this dude has me bring back something called Centenario, which is an alcohol that's Costa Rican. So he wanted me to bring that back, right? And I had the poor ass suitcase that it only has straps and like what you call it, like linen. I don't know what type of material. Them old ass suitcases. There's no wheels. You got to carry it, and it got like material. The old joint, right? Well, the bottle was wrapped in my clothes, so the bottle bust on the plane. The bottle bust, so it was leaking, and of course you could smell the alcohol. So that's what they pulled me aside for. And they going through they got my suitcase laid out on the table, drawers, all that. And asked me questions. So yeah, what you went to Costa Rica for? And I'm like, yeah, no, my family from Costa Rica. Oh yeah, this your first time going? Yeah, it's my first time going. I brought this bottle back from my uncle. They like, yeah, you 18. You got to be 21, the legal limit to have alcohol is 21. And I was like, yeah, this alcohol, this bottle, I just brought it back for him, is whatever, but it's busted. So I didn't technically bring anything at this point.
Right.
But they just grilling me. And I'm like, yeah, no. Oh, God, this was intense. I am scared to death, just freestyling all kinds of nonsense off to the cops while they, going through, they checking the bag, they checking everything, and I'm like, yo, scared to death. Zip it up. They was like, all right, so I put the bag on a cart, because they got like carts, like the suitcase carts. Put the bag on a cart, and I see a police officer that's getting off, right? And I see a police officer that's getting off, right? And I just go join up with the cop, like, hey, can you tell me
why would
which
you
way?
go run to the cop?
Why
would you run to the cop?
To the cop and was like, can you
what?
tell me, am I going the right way to get out? Because now I done lost the family that I was trying to keep up with to feel, not feel alone.
Doing too much.
But
She is doing too much. This is the first time she went muling, trying to make it back to the States.
take them down with me. I'm going down with them.
Right. My grandparents. They brought me on this trip for my graduation.
Yo, alright, so I see a police officer getting off. And I'm like, hey, am I going the right way? Where you trying to? I'm trying to get to the exit and meet my uncle, right? So I just felt comfortable walking with the cop, right? So we walking side by side with 3 kilos of coke, me and the cop in the airport. And it's just like, so how'd you like Costa Rica? Oh, Costa Rica was amazing. It was beautiful. I was on the beach.
So she's back in the States to keep from looking like she's guilty. She's walking with a cop because she feel like if I walk with a cop, I ain't gonna be bothered by no cops.
Black sand, and I'm just talking all kinds of stuff, right? So when we get out into the area with the people, he sees me with the cop, and he's panicking like, yo, what the? He leaves out the airport. I'm like, no, that's him. All right, nice to meet you.
Damn.
He out, and I'm chasing him down. Like, where's you going? Yo, dude.
That's crazy.
Dude, now he's like,
Yeah, I would act like I ain't know you.
Yo, he was like, yo, get away from me. I don't know you. I'm like, but you do know me, son.
That's crazy.
And I chase him. I'm chasing him down. He's like trying not to run to the car. So he had the car parked. I want to say it was like the top level because it was snow. I can't remember. He had the car parked at the airport. Somewhere, wherever he had it at, it was snow. Because I followed him. I don't know where you're going without me. I'm pushing his car, trying to get through the snow, take the bag off. I'm dragging it.
That's crazy.
I'm like, you ain't getting away from me. Get me out this airport.
So she's back in the States, I believe, the New York area, New Jersey area. She sees either her cousin or somebody else that's supposed to pick her up from the airport. They see her with a cop, start running. She's chasing them. She's dragging the drugs in a bag. She's back in the States. It's snowing. And she's trying to catch up with the dude to let him know it's all good. I was just walking with a cop as a decoy.
So he get in the car. I'm like, what's I'm not even thinking, oh, I'm walking with a cop this time.
Right.
This dude is running for me. I'm like, yo, and he's like, somebody following you? Right? He yelling, is somebody following you? I'm like, no, we good, dog. Like, we're good. And as soon as I get to the car door, the passenger side, I just dropped to my knees and I'm like, because it was just like high intensity.
Yeah.
And yo, I dropped to my knees and I'm like, oh God. And so I get in the car, and he's like, what happened? And I tell him the whole story. Like, yo, he was like, what? And now he's just like cracking up. Now he's like, yo, you are something. I'm like, yo, I had to blend in. I'm like, I just said, forget it. If I'm already walking with a cop, ain't no cop gonna bother me. I'm with a cop type thing. That was what my mindset is. I'm with a cop. If y'all thinking something, the cop already got me. Like, you know what I mean? Just, I just felt comfortable just to be with the cop. Like, yeah, I'm safe with the cop. Whoever I am, the cop know all about me and whatever. Like, I just felt, that's why I chose to walk with the cop.
Only you.
So we get to the crib. Now we gotta cut this shit off of me. When, if you could have seen my legs were so blistered and cut, and from the tape ripping off, from the seasoning burning me, my legs were scarred. Like, it was crazy. And then he laid out all his bread on the bed, and that was like, wow. You know what I mean? 'Cause I had zero to now, got these stacks. And then he came back the next day to the crib. Now he wants me under his wing. Like, yo, he's like, you so smart. You this, he's just now, he's infatuated with me. Not in no, crazy way. But he's like, yo, this girl is off the chain. Came back the next day, gave me more bread, another 1,000, and was like, yo, I want you to roll with me. So I was like, listen, I gotta go see my moms. I gotta go see my brothers. So by this time, my brother, he's not in the hospital. He's like in this he's in the hospital, but the family could get like a hotel type of, or extended stay type of place to visit with him or whatever. So it's like a hotel, but it was like all the amenities, the kitchen, all that kind of stuff. So that's when I went down there, bought my brothers like PlayStations and games and coats and clothes. I just, went all out for my brothers.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Ho, ho, you know what I mean? Like, came back, looked out for the family. At that moment is when it pretty much, my mom found out, or the discussion somewhat of me being gay comes out at that particular time period. It was an interesting little visit. Made my way back to New York. I told him he wanted me to meet up with him again for whatever reason. I didn't know what he wanted, but he wanted me with him all the time. Like, so I'm rolling with him. I'm cooking. He gets somebody to teach me how to cook. So I'm cooking. Like, now I'm picking up, like, I'm doing his like collection. So I'm going to the city collecting, like, yo, with a bread. So I'm hopping around different places, collecting his bread, coming back, cook up a batch. He get,
Wait, cook up a batch, you mean like you was making the dope?
So make pies, basically. And that's what the people would come pick up the pies. I'll go collect the money once they, you know, got they sell up. So it was like a whole little operation. It was pretty, no, it wasn't pretty dope. It was mad dope. So anyway, we were staying in this brownstone, right? And we were on the bottom floor. Me and my godbrother on the bottom floor, another couple over us, and then at the top was empty. But nobody was coming to collect rent. And that's a whole nother world. Life is two 18-year-olds in a brownstone just wilding, like on some whole nother shit. So I was like trying to stack up bread to, in my brain, I was gonna fix up that top floor and then rent it out.
How you gonna rent some shit you don't own?
So this is crazy. So she's in New York. They are squatting. Two 18-year-olds are squatting in a brownstone. They're not paying any rent. She's thinking because the second level has a couple living there, but the third level is empty. Now they're already squatting on the first floor. She thinks she gonna take her drug money, fix it up, and I guess she gonna rent out the top floor of the building in which they're already squatting. You can't make this up, says Kevin Samuels. You cannot make this up.
And rent it out to some people on Section 8. Like, I just had a whole plan in my head. That's what I thought I was going to do. To start, like, you know, I was going to pay crack.
That is a 313 hustle. I ain't going to even lie. Shout out to Detroit.
Crackheads was going to be my GCs. I was going to pay some crackheads to, you know, build, because niggas in the hood, like, know how to do all kinds of stuff. And crack, you know, crack is all over the hood. So crackheads, you know, give them a couple dollars. So I was going to get cheap labor, get it built. Like, I had a whole plan in my head. Like, we could rent that joint out. My aunt used to work for Con Edison, which is like Duke for New York.
Okay.
And she couldn't figure it out. She wanted to know who, you know how my family, you know how they be in your shit, like, how you living, who? So she want to run the account to see how y'all living, who's paying electricity, how much is rent? I was like, I don't know. Don't nobody come and collect no rent. I don't know. We just live there.
Wait, so how y'all get the keys to the spot?
My godbrother.
He just took you to the spot.
His mans had the spot. We put him out.
How y'all gonna put him out the spot that he was squatting in? Now y'all squatting in the spot. Now y'all about to rent the spot out. Damn.
We put him out.
So somebody else was squatting before they came to squat. They put the original squatter out so they can squat. And now they want to rent out the spot in which they were squatting. Okay, New York.
But he told me I could move in. So my brother told me I could move in. And then he's like, yo, take that nigga room. Like, let's just take it. Just took his room, got him all out the situation. All right, I'm working with old boy. I'm working with the man. And at this point, I done found somebody to go and do the trip, got paid off of that. I'm doing, you know, whatever he had me do. I didn't have like a set roll. I just was rolling and getting paid to roll with him type of thing. And he gave me about a pound of trees, gas or whatever. So working that, which was a bit difficult because I stayed high back in that time period. Like,
high off your own supply.
Exactly. Hard, me and the crew, all of us. So that was a tough task. Like, I was,
no, right?
I was buying for myself for the most part. All right. Well, we had gotten to this situation where 2 people didn't come back, right? From Costa Rica. So we lost 2 people. And in that, the Colombian connect was trying to get his brother in on the business in the Bronx. So his
Them damn Colombians. There's always the Colombians involved somewhere.
brother lived in, the Colombians had a brother in the Bronx. The Colombians was a married couple. They had a brother in the Bronx.
So we're talking about a married couple that's Colombian living in Costa Rica that's got Americans flying in to pick up weight and take it back to the States. Okay.
who they was trying to bring in. But they was trying to send him that work through our trafficker. You understand what I'm trying to say? So they was trying to be slick on something, you know, I got you next go around, but this batch, and was just about to play my mans. So what happened, that drop didn't make it, and the next drop didn't make it. Right? So 2 drops are missing. So of course that damages the streets. The product there's no product, there's no work happening. The Colombians assume that we actually got the person and like sniped the brother, because the brother went to the airport waiting for the person didn't make it, and there was no evidence of where this person was, right? So my man used to have an arcade with this dude. He had a business with this guy who works arms for the feds, right? So he thinking his mans is his mans, and he gonna tell him the situation on some panicky shit, because the Colombians were in Costa Rica threatening to kill his mother if he ain't come up with that work, produce no more bread, since like they was on some hard body. So this dude is sweating, he's under pressure, and in turn throwing it on me like, we gotta figure something out. We gotta figure this is your organization.
So they threatening my man family back in Costa Rica. We gonna handle your family if you don't get somebody down here from the United States to get these drugs and stop getting caught. Because as she said, 2 people went after her, but those 2 people got caught. So the Colombians losing out on money every time they give it to an American to come to the States. They've lost out twice in a row. This young lady and her cousin and their connection, who are who's squatting in a brownstone in New York, they ain't got no money because the streets are dry. And the Colombians are telling the connect that's in the States, listen, we got your people down here, and your mom and your daddy gonna come up missing if you don't get one of those Americans that can come down here and mule this back for us.
What I got to do with this? You know what I mean? Find somebody else. I need somebody to go to take the money, because you can't wire, you know, all this suspicion. There was no wiring, you know, bread. Find somebody to go take this money or whatever you're going to do. I don't know what you're going to do. But he wanted some answers about the person. So they're telling him, find them people, find that work or whatever. So he tells dude, the feds, right, to track the person that's the 2 missing people. Well, come to find out, they got stopped. They didn't have a direct flight. They got stopped in Miami and caught, right? But they were trying to cooperate, but they didn't know exactly who to cooperate. They didn't know no names. They didn't know really too much of anything to cooperate with. They just knew they were sent on a trip. The people spoke Spanish. Ain't nobody. They didn't know what to do or how to cooperate, who to cooperate with, right? All right, this is all gonna come into play later. It's all gonna get pieced together. All right, so he's like, all right, we gotta figure something out. I need somebody to go. 1, I need to take them bread. 2, I need work back. I need, like, we gotta find somebody. I'm like, you think it's easy to convince somebody? I don't know how my stupid ass get convinced off of the first go around, but you think that's easy to convince? I come to you trying to be on some, you want to go to Costa Rica and bring back 3 kilos of coke and get some. You got a lot of, you know what I mean? And I'm going around asking people like.
She said, I don't even know how I was dumb enough to get coerced into doing it the first time. You think I can go find somebody to talk them into doing it too? That is hilarious.
That's not no easy thing to do. Nigga, you find somebody, you know what I mean? I come up to you trying to be on some, you want to go to Costa Rica and bring back 3 kilos of coke and get some. You got a lot of, you know what I mean? And I'm going around asking people, like, that's not no easy thing to do. Nigga, you find somebody, you know what I mean? But he's applying that pressure. So I'm on the phone with him, and he's, you know, because he's from Costa Rica originally. So, you know, his English is with an accent because he got the patois in him type thing.
Now y'all understand the dude who her connect is in New York, who originally got her to do the muling. He panicking not only because he's losing money, but because the Colombians back in Costa Rica, where he's originally from, are threatening to kill his family if he don't get somebody to come get these drugs.
You know, while on the phone, this chick I was trying to get with for a long time ended up, you know, with me at this particular moment, kind of staying with me, kind of dating type of thing, courting, whatever. And she was like, look, I'll go. And he's like, what? What'd she say? I'm like, no, you know, she's all interjecting. I'll go. Listen, I'll do it. I'm like, oh, she can't go. I'm like, let me call you back. We're going to talk in a bit. So I'm talking to her and she's like, I mean, scared money don't make no money. You did it. You came back. Like, I'll go if it's this serious and Like, he's freaking out. Like, what if these people kill his mother? What if I'll do it. Like, you did it. I'm like, yo, I call him back. She said she'll do it, but she's not going by herself. If she's going, I'm going. And I got bread saved up. I'm going. I'm bringing my own stuff back. I'll do it. Okay. If she go, I go.
So you was gonna use your money that was saved up to buy your own piece, so you could.
That's right. So I can have my own work.
So she like, I'm going to Costa Rica to get some weight for my man, and since I got money, I'm gonna buy some weight for myself from the Colombians. And the person that's gonna do the muling is me and the other chick who I'm kicking it with. So she didn't talk to one of her girlfriends into going on this trip.
All right. Well, he's like, I don't think that's a good idea. You just came back. Like, you was there, you know, about 90 days ago or whatever. That don't look right. You going in and out of Costa Rica. I don't think it's a good idea. I'm like, well, it's that or period. Like, if she's going, and he was like, all right, well, you paying your own way. You pay. I was like, that's fine. But I'm going too. So, you know what I mean? And I'm copping. Like, and he, at this point, he's desperate. He don't give a flying F or whatever. And then I'm like, well, how you know, when I'm talking to him on the side but how you tell that dude, you know what I mean? Like, why would you tell him? He's like, no, I trust him. That's my friend, all that. You know, we knew each other for years. We had a business together. We had an arcade, all this stuff. I'm like,
what did he tell him?
To find the people. That's how we found out the people were in Miami and didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? All right. Me and Shorty go to Costa Rica. We get to Costa Rica. We there for 10 days. That's during that time period. I asked her, you know, I paid these people to make a cake and all of this stuff, and had writing in it like, will you be my girlfriend on some proposal type thing. So we weren't really together. We just got together during those 10 days. You understand? We became a couple during those 10 days. And that was just like an intense trip because I don't think we really even liked each other on some real. It was a lot. It was very intense. And so, but she spoke Spanish, right? So that was a help for us this go around. All right. By the time it's time to bring that work, right? We get packaged up. I don't know what was the delay I don't know what was the delay. We get packaged up, and that's when she started having these intuitions like, this is a little deep. I'm like, we've been here for 10 days. She's like, this is crazy. Like she's like, my intuition don't lie, my gut don't lie, nah. Well, your gut getting on this plane with that work.
So now y'all going back to America.
We trying to get back, and in the midst of it, us getting packaged up and everything, you know, that's what she's saying. Like, and then she's listening to them. And they speaking, so she knows what they said. She like, they nasty, you know, them Colombians, they got nasty, like she's, you know, on some, they wow. All right, we get to the airport. And we miss our flight, right? We miss our flight. We come back out like, yo, we missed our flight. We get in the car, so they mad, of course, niggas is pissed. Oh my God. How they missed the flight? So the Colombians, of course, they mad. We get back to the spot, take the stuff off our legs, and that's when she was really breaking down. Like, you said New York was crazy. No, Costa Rica. Did you see those people? I'm like, I didn't see nobody, to be honest. She's like, no, they got things in their ear. They looking like, did you not see how they are? They're blending in with the crowd. They're not obvious, like how you said it is in New York. I'm like, well, I don't know. I feel it's New York you got to worry about. You ain't got to worry. And so all night we couldn't really sleep because she's like, I don't, something ain't right. I'm like, listen, stop being nervous and stop, cut that out. I did it already. You know what I mean? I did it. You just do what I do and we'll be fine. Okay, next day, time to catch the flight.
They missed it.
Now they're going to package up the stuff and now they attitude with it. You know what I mean? Just not taking their time. They're using the same package and go through the process. They didn't unravel it completely to
So now the Colombians are upset. You missed your first flight that you're supposed to leave the day before. Now she's noticing that they're not going through the details that they normally do when they wrap up the package on their legs. They're doing a rush job. She could tell you'd have missed the first flight. Now the Colombians are mad. They're doing a rush job. Old girl who you brought with you, she panicking. And you thought this was gonna turn out right?
Smooth it and get it. And so I felt like we were lumpy, junky, rush, and Shorty kept saying, correcting them, like, yo, fix this, make this, like, look at that. No, this ain't feeling smooth. It's not feeling natural. It's not feeling like, you know what I mean? And they getting agitated. We ain't missing another flight. You know what I mean? On some, I bet, on some whatever type of time they was on. All right, we get to the airport.
She had baggy clothes on too.
Facts. The Colombians were sloppy. The girl who she was with was telling them, because she spoke Spanish, she telling the Colombians, y'all sloppy. But the Colombians are too busy because they already missed 2 packages. Think about it. They got 2 packages caught in Miami already. 2 girls that tried to mule got caught. So the Colombians are desperate to get this money. Get these drugs to the States. The dude that's in the States, originally from Costa Rica, he trying to keep his family from getting killed by the Colombians. So he panicking. The girl who she with changed her mind. She panicking. Everybody in the panic zone.
She had the same exact outfit as me. Like
twin, where have you been?
Nobody love me quite like, yeah, the whole. So we had the same exact thing on. Jumper, we both had on a jumper, both had on baggy clothes, both had on Timbs, like we was the Bopsies out this joint. All right, it's time to go through metal detectors and all of that. I have on the same exact thing, belt, all that. The same. I wore the same. I probably had the same drawers on, everything, because I felt like it was my lucky fit. Like this is about to be my trafficking fit if I have to do this again. Alright, so go through the metal detector just like I expected. Beep, beep. So now Shorty like, this is wow. I go back, but I'm confident. Oh, right? I go back, taking all my stuff. I'm doing exactly what I did the first time because I'm like, if it worked the first time, I gotta work the second time. Taking everything out of my pockets, putting it on the table. So she's looking at me and she's doing everything I'm doing, right? Because she's behind me. I'm like, let me go first. I got this. So she takes all her stuff out her pocket. She putting it like, I ain't kind of trying to go back and forth. I'm walk through, right? But anyway, back again. Bit. I'm like, it's my belt, because that's what it was last time. Remember? It's my belt. And so dude with the wand is just staring at me. And he goes with the metal detector, but he's like just staring at my legs, right? And I'm like, it's my belt. My belt. Trying to get him to wand my belt. All right, it's my belt. Well, dude stares at me and then he just touched my leg. Like he just touched it. And oh my God, I could have doodled right there. No, so I look back at Shorty and I'm like, mouthing the word run. Shorty turned about 5 colors: purple, orange, yellow, blue, green, bananas. Banana, right? Fire. And I'm like, I'm now ready to yell it, but she's frozen. And I'm like, I'm now ready to yell it, but she's frozen. And I'm like, like, she turns around and she's out. So, and she, she walks off casually, So now I'm like, all right, here we go. It's time to deal with whatever this is. And they asking me, I'm like, my legs is broke. It's a cast. I said, it's a cast, like broke. My legs is broke.
My legs is broke, but I can walk. I got a cast, but I don't need no crutches. So she ain't got no crutches. Legs is broke. Yeah. That lie might have worked the first time, but this time, you going to jail.
Cast. I ain't got no crutches. I ain't got no cane.
Walking regular.
Walking. Talk about it's a cast. And they so somebody that can speak a little bit of broken English comes and I'm like, it's a cast. They was like, you have a doctor, you have a note, you have paper. I was like, yeah, it's in my suitcase on the plane, you know.
Now remember what we said last time with the other lady. Do you have any paperwork? Do you know where you stayed? Do you know the person that you stayed with? In her case, it was, do you have a prescription? Do you have a doctor's note? Do you have anything to validate that you were in the hospital in our country?
I'm like, it's in my suitcase. I checked my bag. Yeah, I got a doctor's note in my checked bag, right? They like, now more people gather, more of them gathering and gather. So now I'm like a fucking spectacle. All these people speaking Spanish, right? And then, you know, they walk in, whoever they walk in, whatever, and they got me standing. I'm like, yo, I don't know what y'all talking about. Now they looking at my passport. They got a shorty passport. They looking through, you know, what is that? And they saying her name. Where, you know, where's it? And I'm standing there. Listen, my legs is broke. That's all I kept running with. My leg is broke. I don't know what they saying. Here come a dude. They part way like the sea, like the Red Sea. Here come this dude. He speaks English very well. And he was like, okay, you know, talking to them, but he's in front of me. He was like, all right, stop fucking with me. What is that? I was like, it's cocaine, dog. Like, he was like, all right, tell him what to do. He's giving his orders and all right, come with me. Come. I'm like, wait, all right, where we going? You want the stuff? Like, here, take it. Let me get on the plane. You can have it. You know, I'm not knowing or oblivious to the fact that you're about to go to jail. You understand?
18 years old. She think if she give them the drugs, they're gonna let her go. She think if she just say, here, it's cocaine, you take it, just let me go, that she could just walk away.
I'm thinking, here, y'all want the stuff? Take it, and then I'll get on the plane. Like, what are we doing? Where are we going? What's the deal? So now they got me sitting in this office type space, right? I want to say it was like a holding place or processing place for people at the airport type thing. So I felt like I was there forever. I was sitting forever because they wanted to bring in a translator. So they waiting for a translator. Like, that dude couldn't technically, they had to bring in a translator to translate, process this whole thing. All right, they take me into a bathroom, you know, get the female cop and all of that, and they want to get the stuff off of me. So we getting the stuff off, and the look on the faces was like, this is interesting. Oh, now we, you know, now they got to take their pictures. Okay, this is what we need to be looking out for. Yeah, you know what I mean? Okay, all right. They take me back into this processing room where it felt like it was just junky. It was mad paper and typewriter. So they didn't have computer systems, right? Everything was typewritten. So I'm sitting there for, I felt like 80 years, asking me questions, but they kept asking, where's Shorty? That's all. Where's Shorty? Where's Shorty? I'm like, I'm with you. How am I supposed to know where did you stay at? I don't know. I don't know nothing. Everything is.
Once again, we got females muling drugs, but don't know where they stayed. They don't know where they stayed. And I'm gonna say something real quick. And some of you guys might agree with me. Not only is she a tacky drug dealer, the Colombians are tacky. The Colombian couple that had all this going on, they were were too busy being upset trying to rush putting the drugs on her. The Colombian should have known to give her paperwork. So just in case they ask you this is where you stayed. They've been doing this long enough. They've been sending people back and forth long enough. They should have known that if the first two girls got caught, they should have been said, okay, here's what we do from now on. We got paperwork to validate this, that. If you got a broken leg, then you got a broken leg. We're gonna have you with cast, some crutches, some in Spanish, you're gonna have prescriptions for medication, all type of stuff. These Colombians making all this money and they slipping that easy. They slipping that easy. You supposed to be Colombian cartel. And you dumb enough to send shipment after shipment after shipment out there. Yeah, you put the dumb ones on a tactical level so they can do the time if they get busted. Yeah, the Colombians were super sloppy. Absolutely correct, T-Mac. Let's continue on. I told y'all this is a good one.
In Spanish, I can't read Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I don't know where I stayed. Where'd you get it from? I don't know. The translators doing all of this, where did you get it from? I don't know. Where's, ask more questions, double back. Where's Shorty? I don't know. That question kept coming back like every 5 questions. Where is she? Like, the answer ain't gonna change. I don't know. So then I'm getting frustrated because they asking me a bunch of questions, right? They going through my pager. Whose number is this? Whose number is this? I'm like, I don't know numbers by heart. I don't know. Listen, you have stuff. When am I getting on my plane? Like, it is not registering to me that I'm about to go to jail at all. I promise you. All right. They tested the product into this solution and that joint instantly went, ooh, oh yeah. Go. They weighing it, they bringing in scale. So all of this time they processing is to accurately document what I have described. Typing out the whole, I think I have a copy of my whole affidavit. Typing out the whole thing, just going in. So I'm like, all right, this is wild. But I still don't understand what's really about to go down. Finally, they like, all right, come on. They're about to transport you. All right, well, bye. I'm like, yo, wait, bye. Like, translator, stay with me. You know what I mean? Where you going? So they walk me out, put me in a cop car, and they take me to jail. Right? Jail. And,
it was jail?
Huh?
Did you
know I knew it was jail. It was bars, and I was in a cage. They took me to jail. So it's bars, literally like what you see, and your arms can hang out the bars type thing. So I'm in that, and there's a slab, and they give me a wool blanket, right? So I got a wool blanket, a slab, and now I'm just sitting there, and there's a toilet right next to it, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, yo, this is, now I'm sitting there. It felt like I was there for like 2-3 days. And they kept walking by looking at me like I was a lab rat and talking. And I'm like, yo, I don't get a phone call. Where's my phone? I'm like, yo, where's my phone call?
What the? Yeah, boy, y'all Americans, boy. Y'all been watching too many movies, Americans. Americans. What is this phone call you speak of? Americans. Pookies. Nook, Ray, Chad. Because you white boys love stay get locked up in Thailand. Chad, what is this phone call you speak of? Because that's only in the United States. I don't even know if you get a phone call in Canada. Where is my phone call? Y'all been watching too many damn movies. I swear, you Americans, y'all love to travel somewhere, but don't know what the hell y'all talk about. Where's my phone call? Where's my turn? What? Oh, this plot is about to get thicker, gentlemen. My brother said, she lucky. she didn't get caught up in the States because she'd have got that 20 years. She was looking at that amount. There's a reason why she ended up getting 4. As this plot thickens, you'll see why she didn't end up getting 20 years, because she was looking at more than that. She was looking at more than that. Y'all in other countries talking about some dang where's my phone? Don't nobody owe you a goddamn thing. Oh my God. Yes, sir, Zeta. Other countries don't owe you a phone call. Don't let you get a phone call. Only in the States do you get a call. T-Mac says this. He said going to boot camp was like jail. Yep. He said he said we got our phone call and read from a script. Wow. Let's continue on.
I'm just going crazy. Now I'm really going crazy. I'm crying. I'm praying, God, if you get me out of this, what you want me to do? You want me to be straight? You want me to be, get me out of this?
She said, God, get me out of this. Do you want me to be straight? Whatever you want, God. Holy Ghost, use me. Use me, Spirit of the Lord. Help me out of this, Jesus.
I'll do anything. I sin. Oh my God, this is for my sins. I'm a sinner. Oh God, and I'm like all I'm tripping. Now I'm mentally going crazy because I don't know what's going on with me. Where am I at? I don't know what they're saying. I'm confused. Like, what are they going to do with me? Why are they not giving me a phone call? Like, why I can't call my mother? Like, why? Where's the phone? You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking, go to jail, you get your one call, you get your phone call. Where's my phone call? I'm tripping. All right. They bringing me rice and beans, and I can't eat. How many eat? They bring me rice and beans, and they bringing me this juice. Well, now to me, if I could describe it, because I know now, it's like bubble tea with the seeds floating, and it's hot, and it's in a bag with a straw in the middle. So that's typically how. That's a normal thing in that country, to get served your drink in a plastic bag with a straw in the middle, tied it, So they trying to give, they're giving me that. I'm not drinking. I'm not eating. Well, I did taste that hot mess. It was hot and warm, I'm like, oh my God. I'm in there, like suffering. Then they come get me and I'm like, where we going? Am I getting my phone call? Where am I going? Where you go? And they give me, my stuff. So the stuff that I left on the table, I don't have that. I don't have anything that was left on the table. I have my suitcase. They put me in a car, in a truck, like a paddy wagon, and they take me someplace. They take me to prison now. All right.
So you didn't see no judge or nothing to say you was guilty? They just took you from prison to jail?
From jail to prison. Yeah. So I get to this place and they're checking me, going through my stuff, processing me basically into the prison. Well, people are there grouped up, like it's a crowd grouped up outside the gate, waiting for me to enter the population. It's a crowd waiting for me to enter the population. It's a crowd, and the security guard, little bubbly lady, she's like, "Let me go. I'm gonna go get whoever she go get." She brings, she brings, we're going to give a name. We're going to call her Harlem. Right? So she brings Harlem. I'm going to go by city. Everybody's name going to be cities. All right. So she brings Harlem. Right? Harlem comes and now she's looking like home. You know what I mean? Because she's from Harlem. You know what I mean? She look like home. Just somebody that's familiar, she speaks English, whatever. And she's like, hey, introduce herself and walking with me and the security guard to show me where I'm staying at. So I'm like, yo, what's this? And I'm not really talking, but, what's your name? Tell her my name. Okay, well, welcome to she's the welcome committee. Welcome. You going to go down here and what to expect? You going to go down there, da-da-da-da. What you do? We knew you was coming, it'd be on the news. They know, we caught somebody at the airport, so I'm news. So that's how they know he's coming. And so they, ready. And they see that truck. We always know, there's a truck. We're getting somebody fresh meat type thing. All right. And where I had to stay is all the way at the end of the jail. That's where it's the section they call preventida, ámbito B section. Let's go and call it B section. So they're taking me to the B section. That's for the people who's been there for the first time and you're waiting to see the judge. So walking down to the B section, and she's breaking down everything, how the place works and all of that. And so you gotta process what this is looking like for her, right? She's been there for about, at this point, she was there for about 2 years, 2 to 3 years already. 2 years maybe? Yeah. She's been there already for about 2 years. And so here I come with the do-rag on, pants sagging, Timbs, you know, looking like I got on a varsity jacket, looking like a whole, I got a tongue ring, and like I'm looking like me straight up out of, you know what I mean? I'm looking like home. I'm looking for, so it's like refreshing to see somebody that you can totally relate to and all of that. So yeah, excitement. Oh wow, people are excited for me to be in prison. Like, you know what I mean? Like what? All right, I'm like, all right, yeah, I gotta go. My whole thing was I gotta go home. I ain't gonna be here. Like this ain't for me. I'm out. You know what I mean? Type thing. All right. Where do I get my phone call? That's my thing. Where do I get my phone call? And why are you making it sound so permanent? And she's like, no, you here, shorty. Like, you ain't going. Basically, you gonna be sitting here for about 3 months before you see the judge. I'm like, 3 months, y'all. You like, oh, I'm dead.
So the other woman, she had to wait 2 years. This chick had to wait 3 months before even seeing the judge for the first time. All you Americans getting caught up in other countries, and you think it's this we've seen this woman talk about, I want a phone call. And now you Americans are surprised that you don't get a speedy trial. Oh, you think you in the United States where you can go see the judge Monday morning and get a bail, huh? Y'all think y'all in that country, huh? Well, once you get the attorney and everything, and you can get a bail, and you'll have a speedy trial, huh? You have the right to a speedy trial. Anything you say can and will be used against you, huh? Where's my attorney? If you don't have money for attorney will be provided for you. Y'all think y'all in that country, huh? Man, if y'all don't sit y'all butt down somewhere in these other countries, it is not a joke. It is not a joke. He said they're forever crashing out. Yes, sir, forever. Every time you turn around, these passport sisters, Pookies, Ray Rays, and Chads are crashing out in somebody's country. Yeah, they spoiled. They think Sean, they think they can go to another country. Talk about some damn speedy trial. You can't keep me here. Notice, she still ain't called home yet. She ain't got no call to call home. Ain't no phone call. That don't remember. She came not only to re-up, but remember she came with a pocket full of money to buy her own dope to take back too. So she'd have lost that money and the drug, because the drugs that she had on her that she paid for out of her own pocket, and the drugs that she originally came for. So all her money gone. But she won a phone call and a speedy trial. And she is 18, 19 years old. All right, LGBTQ, what else happened? Tell us what else happened.
Different. You know who I am, you know?
She said, do you know who I am? I'm an American, just like the other young lady said, didn't she? I'm an American. Do you know who I am? Let me bring that beat back for you. You Americans like to say who you are. You always like to talk about who you are. I'm an American. You know who I am?
Wow. People are excited for me to be in prison. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? All right. I'm like, all right, yeah, I got to go. My whole thing was I got to go home. I ain't going to be here. Like, this ain't.
Walked into this prison and saw this type of mess. your queens, your black queens.
Me, I'm out, you know what I mean, type thing. Alright. Where do I get my phone call? That's my thing. Where do I get my phone call, and why are you making it sound so permanent? And she's like, no, you here, shorty. Like, you ain't going, basically you gonna be sitting here for about 3 months before you see the judge. I'm like, 3 months, y'all, you wildin', like, oh, I'm different. You know who I am, you know? That's the type of mindset I'm in. Like, 3 months, you bugging. Like, get out of here. All right, I go in the section. I get called back out. Now it's her, all the Americans that's there. They, they grouped up, want to get to know me. Okay, you have tissue? You got? They gave me a care package. Here's some tissue, some soap, all of that good stuff. Toothbrush, toothpaste. They giving me everything, like a whole little care package. Did you eat? Are you hungry? I'm like, oh, this is so sweet. I need that phone call though. I think somebody gave me a card to call home. So I call home. I get my phone call. They, work it so somebody let me use the phone. So it was like one phone in the section. Two phones. Might have been 1 or 2 phones. Can't remember. 1 or 2 phones. But everybody has a time slot. You get 15-minute call a day, and you got your time slot. So you gotta be there waiting for your time. You know what I mean? So they get me in, or you could buy time from people and stuff like that. They get me in, and I call my mother, and I'm like crying. Well, I call her, and I'm like, Ma, I'm in jail.
And your mama don't even know that you in a foreign country. Just think about, her mother didn't even know that she was in another country. So when she initially hear her say she in jail, mom already hurt on hearing her child crying and saying that she in jail. Now mom knows she ain't got a perfect child. I should have put in here what I should have did, but I knew it was gonna make the lot, because this is a long storyline. I watched the clip with her mom, and her mom was basically saying, I knew you was up to some mess. Because 1 minute you ain't got a job, next minute you got all this money and these nice clothes and all this. And mom said, I told you, whatever you, and this is the interview with her and her mom that I watched. And her mom said, you don't remember, I told you, whatever you doing, you need to stop it because it's not worth it. She said, you remember that conversation, do you? So mom said, I don't know what you doing to get this money out here, but you don't have a job. So whatever it is you're doing, stop. And then all of a sudden, she's back in Costa Rica, calling her mama, Mama, I'm in jail.
She's like, in jail? I'm like, in Costa Rica. And I just lose it. Like, I'm just crying. She's like, okay, all right. Okay, we'll figure this out. All right. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. You know what I mean? So, I tell her, who to call, who to get in touch with, how to figure out, how to get some information, where I am, what's the deal. Okay. Now, mind you, the dude, his girlfriend lives in Costa Rica. She's usually the pick up, drop off, or whatever type of thing. So, she comes see me. We'll get into all that process. I want to stop now. So, not only did my man's girl bring us to the airport, but the Colombians were at the airport too, at this point, making sure we got on the plane. Because remind you, they already thinking things is suspect. Now, if there was some undercover deal that my homeboy, the man, cut with the Colombians that I don't know about, and he ain't tell me, but as far as all I know is he was doing something. Well, the Colombians trying to do something with the brother. He's doing something, trying to make things right. But why was they at the airport? So they were at the airport shadowing his girl, whose responsibility in all of these runs is to bring us to the airport. So why did you shadow her? You understand? So when my shorty runs off the airport, nobody's picking her up. She's running to them like, yo, because they typically stay and wait for the flights to take off. Because this is Costa Rica again. Remember, it's a third world country. It's not a lot of flights taking off. So you know what plane you watching take off. And
so the other girl who we forgot all about that was with her, who she told to run, slowly walked back out of the airport, and the Colombians was waiting for her as they were waiting for the plane to take off. They see the one girl walk back out by herself with the drugs still strapped to her legs. So she still got these drugs strapped to her legs. Old girl right here told her, leave the airport. Now we're about to hear what happened with the other girl.
This is stuff that I learned. But anyway, you know which plane is taking off because not a lot of planes taking off in and out of Costa Rica at this time period. So they're waiting for that flight. Well, here she come running. Now they don't want no parts of her. So she's on some fuck this shit and she starts gunning it for anywhere she can imagine. So between old boy girl coming to the jail to tell me, and when I eventually talked to Shorty, so she runs off because some people did ask about this in the comments. What happened to Shorty? She runs off, right? And because they're not hearing her, like, yo, she's getting knocked. Well, you part of it. They looking for you. Da da da. Well, what the fuck? So she's off. Now she's running on a highway. She's like in the woods, ready to try to rip this stuff off of her. She's like out, like, yo, I'm out. So that's when they believe her, and she gets picked up by them, by the whole squad. They in squabbles. She's coming with me. No, you coming with me. She's going through battle of, oh, you coming with me. You coming with me type. Because there's still weight on her. Like, yo, no, you mine. Like, she's not even a person at this point. She's product. Like, nah, this is my drugs. This is my drugs. So she's going through that while I'm getting back.
So the one that ran off is going through a tug of war between the Colombian drug dealers and the Costa Rican drug dealers. I don't know which situation is worse, hers, who got locked up, or the girl that got caught running. She in the woods somewhere and get caught up between the Colombian cartel and the Costa Rican cartel. I don't know which one is worse.
So here I am. Yo, that shit is crazy, right? All right, so that's her part. We'll go more there because I have to tell you when she starts to visit me and we talking and all that. All right, so I'm in jail and I'm thinking, yeah, my people's, you just pay judges off? Like, you know what I mean? I know we here in America, all these conspiracies and all that, you good with the judges, but no, they legit like, now you got bread. So you would see, like, in the area that I was in, I was put in a section where that's the people that's new to jail. You don't know what's going on. It's your first time getting locked up. You new to the jail. You never been in jail before. The newbies type thing. You waiting for your sentence and all that. So they call that indiciadas or preventiva or like basically holding, waiting for court, there's no decision on you, but you got to sit in jail type shit. Right? There's no bond, no bail.
Okay, that's my next question. You can't get out on bond. You can't get out on bail.
No, bitch, you sit.
Okay.
Your bond, your bail is if you pay some judge, some bond, some bail to get the fuck up out. Otherwise, you're going to sit until there's a decision made on what the fuck you there for. So I'm sitting there, but I'm believing like, oh, I'm off this shit. Like, word? Niggas, and my man's girl, she's telling me like, all right, but you.
So before she goes any further, so she's finally in communication with the Colombian drug dealer's wife. So the Colombian drug dealer's wife is coming to the jail telling her, you good. So like any egotistical Americana, she thinking, I'm good. I'm going to be up out of here. They're going to pay the judge off. I'm out of here. I'm home by Christmas. That's what she's thinking. Listening to the same Colombianas that put the drugs on wrong. The same Colombianas that got 2 girls caught in Miami. The same Colombianas that threatened to kill the dude's mama and family. Now she gonna trust these same Colombians while she in Costa Rica to get her out of jail. Like she Tupac and Suge Knight. I pay your bail, Tupac, but you got to give me some of the best hip hop albums of all time. I'll pay your bail, Tupac. Tupac need that $2 million to get out of jail on bail. Suge Knight went on ahead and footed the bill and got world-class albums out the deal.
Got caught in Alajuela. That's not no small town. Like, so Costa Rica is a country, right? And then you got the capital with San Jose, and then Alajuela is where the airport is. These are like the most developed areas. But then you got all, so Costa Rica is a country, right? And then you got the capital with San Jose, and then Alajuela is where the airport is. These are like the most developed areas. You got arrested. We only gonna hold you but so much time before you're gonna go to the women's prison of the country. So yeah, you can pay that because you got to go back to that area to get tried and sentenced. Mm-hmm. So if you got that bread, yeah, you can pay that judge off.
You know, passport sisters do not talk, don't listen to brothers, to the brothers with passports. They'll listen to a passport pookie. Yes, they will. If I was a pookie, they'll listen to everything I had to say. But as a man with a passport king, a passport carteles, passport bro, passport gentleman, they don't want to hear us. AMSM, shout to you, man, supporting men. Andre, you have experience. Why didn't you tell them how to do it the right way? And tell them not to do it, or tell them not to do it at all. I would have told them not to do it at all, because all I knew was how to do it the wrong way. How I did it eventually got me caught up.
But where I was at, not the international airport, like, you know, you're not paying that judge off. But we not thinking like that. You know, we thinking, you know, I'm being fed, and we all thinking, yeah, you just get to the judge. Da, da, da. But no, I'm in the freaking Washington, D.C. of Costa Rica. You feel me? What I'm supposed to do? First things first is, well, Harlem, off the rip, familiar, you know, survival, shorty put me on. So I'm like, yo, what's good? And she off the gate like, you funny, but you a whole lot of I look like he fuck with, you know what I mean? I used to wear my strap. They took my strap in search at the jail. Shut up. Shut up.
I'm done. I am done. She was dedicated to her dykeness. This was a dedicated dyke, gentlemen. This female says she used to wear the strap on 24 hours, 7 days a week. So she got the strap on while she got caught. She got caught with the big nuts. She got caught like she was slanging it. See, being a man, you don't think about somebody walking around. Some of these dyke chicks are walking around with a strap on even as we speak. They going to work with a strap on. They walking up on chicks with a strap on. They going to family reunion, church on Sundays with a strap on. I mean, I ain't never thought about this. This woman got on a plane with the strap on. This is dedication to the nth degree. This is dedication. She said they took my strap in the jail. I'm like, so you mean you done had this strap on when you got locked up? They found the drugs, but they was like, check it out. They found the drugs on her, took the drugs, and let her keep wearing the strap. What's this? It's just a strap-on dick. You gonna keep that here. What's that on your legs? Drugs. Well, give us the drugs and you keep the strap on. That is dedication. That is dedication to the LGBTQ community. She is dedicated. Oh my gosh. I have never heard of that. Because you don't think about it as a man. But now, you know, you sit back and see women talking about, I stay strapped. I stay strapped. Don't run up on me. I stay strapped. I bet you do. Oh my goodness. I have heard a lot of things in life, but I have never heard of that one. Zeta says this. He said, Dre, Pac sold 72 million records posthumously, and outsold other black record labels when he was alive. Absolutely correct. She could barely sell any packages of cocaine, right? I know, right? Oh, that's funny. Oh, that was funny. Right, she got the King Kong schlong. King Kong ain't got nothing on her. She dedicated to the cause. Y'all know me. Bring that beat back. Bring that beat back. Oh my goodness.
They're only gonna hold you but so much time before you're gonna go to the women's prison of the country. So yeah, you can pay that because you got to go back to that area to get tried and sentenced. Mm-hmm. So if you got that bread, yeah, you could pay that judge off. But where I was at, not the international airport, like, you know, you're not paying that judge off. But we not thinking like that. You know, we thinking, you know, I'm being fed and we all thinking, hey, you just get to the judge. Da, da, da. But no, I'm in the freaking Washington, D.C. of Costa Rica. You feel me? What I'm supposed to do? First things first is, well, Harlem, off the rip, familiar, you know, survival, shorty put me on. So I'm like, yo, what's good? And she off the gate, like, you funny, but you a whole lot of I look like he fuck with, you know what I mean? I used to wear my strap. They took my strap in search at the jail. Shut up. Shut up. All day one, I get there, it was like top of the day, go in, I'm getting met with like a bundle of soap and, you know, the Americans was looking out, get my phone call. So now it's like, yo. Lined up in a row. So they can't enter the section to see me personally, but they can, you know, call for me or send somebody like, yo, tell her to come out. So now mind you, I'm in the section, everybody speaks Spanish, I don't know, whatever, but they get my I'll come out. And it's all Americans, hey girl, so where you from? And now it's like, yo, where you from? Da, da, da. And we go out of my section and we go into and sit on the steps and kick it. And we're in front of like the section, the steps to the next section, which is the section for people who've been there before and they return. So they call that section Palomar. And that's like Ámbito A. So we're going to call that section A. So when you come out of section B, which is for the people that's just getting there, this is at the back of the jail. Section B, people that's first getting there, you go downstairs, little walkway. That walkway path will lead you right out the gate if you kept walking it without all the barriers. But anyway, cross that little path and there we go. we sitting on these stairs, and now it's like, yo.
As she's naming off all these cities from where all these women are from, I'm thinking like, damn, there's a lot of sisters locked up in Costa Rica. A lot. She's naming off all these cities of all these places where people are locked up. Yeah, you ain't lying, Will.
There's always speckled on a map. It's called Hopewell. Why this bitch was from Hopewell? Population of like nothing. And I'm with a bitch that, so now it's a whole lot of like, to me, when I look back, I'm like, yo, God and favor don't be playing. So I got all things familiar, and I got somebody from Hopewell. So we sitting there like, yo, so of course now I got a bond with her, and she's a white girl who came here on a fake ass name, but we're gonna call her Hopewell. So the name that we was calling her was the fake name of a bitch that she can't stand back in Hopewell. I think she had something to do with the whole trafficking mix. So we're calling her a name that she can't stand, but the system don't know her government name. But Harlem was an asshole and would call her government name because it's so white as fuck. You fucking yo, Harlem was off the chain. All right, so we're all so of course I zone in, and she was an interesting character, like, you know. However, we got something, you know. We got something that they don't. But me and them, we all got New York, and then you got Georgia, who's just the sweetest thing, and then you got Puerto Rico, that's from the Bronx, and then you got Harlem, that's like Harlem World, we won't stop, right? And then you got the OG, who's from New York, but she been there, like. So when I got there, the year that I was arrested and all of that, so the newest person was me, and before me was Georgia. So we're just gonna call her Georgia Peach. I'm gonna call her Peaches. Like, that was my baby. White girl, whatever, but that was my baby. That was my peoples. All right, that was my best friend. That was my peoples. That's one of my like closest. We always kind of close. I ain't even gonna cap. But all right, so Peaches got there probably like 2 weeks before me or something like that. But literally 2-3 weeks. She was new, and then I came right behind her. So like the Americans, we up some. You know what I mean? It's about six of us. Like, yo, what up? Now OG, she's been there for a while. Same charge, but her sentence was crucial. Like, yeah, so. Times are evolving, and I'm sure like even right now it's probably different. Like my charge right now will probably be little to nothing. But so all of them, OG, she was sentenced mad years. So was Puerto Rico. I'm going to probably change Puerto Rico from Puerto Rico to, she may stay Puerto Rico. Because I'm thinking as time go on, I start to share the story, Puerto Rico going to turn into a whole other name. A crazy fucking ass. But anyway, Puerto Rico, OG, and Harlem, they had some hefty sentences. And Hopewell, she pretty, you know, but you can see where time frames, it start to get a little less, like, but they were there for years, like, but OG was there, like, just like
but
crucially.
All the Americans were there for the same reason, yeah.
Oh, we all were there for the same exact reason. And then when me and Georgia, like I told you, we came weeks apart. And if I'm not mistaken, when I get into the part when I get sentenced, between the time that she was sentenced and the time that I was sentenced, a law passed and I got the low sentence. Isn't that kind of crazy?
So that's how she ended up getting only 4 years. Because before she got sentenced, the law passed and she ended up not looking at the 20 years, stuff like that.
And blessed at the same time, like, whatever. But like that's what happened, and it became the standard sentence for our charge, which was international drug trafficking. A law passed and I got the low sentence. Isn't that kind of crazy and blessed at the same time? Like, whatever. But like that's what happened, and it became the standard sentence for our charge, which was international drug trafficking, and the charge was 5 years 4 months. That's the charge for international drug trafficking. That became the law. 5 years 4 months, and I happened to catch that charge. I only served 4 years and 3, but you know, good behavior and all that. You know what I mean? So 5 years 4 months, but with good behavior, you get like a quarter or whatever they call it. You could get off if you did what you're supposed to do, and the jail tracks that part and submit it. And so I already knew once I got sentenced how much time I did. But fuck that, I ain't sentenced yet. I'm still there meeting the Americans. You ain't stopping me from going down no rabbit hole.
I'm intrigued. Go ahead.
All right, so we sitting on the stairs, and I keep looking at Harlem, of course. Harlem got the fat ass, you know, she's shorty and she's familiar, so I'm, you know, throwing a little, what up? And they tell me, she ain't gay. And so she's been there for years. So they've been there for some time. Nah, she ain't gay. All right, don't get punched in your face. She don't play that. So she was like, never could understand how you whole wife and woman, and now you I'm fucking a bitch. Like, how you turn.
Right.
She could never understand that all the time that she been there. But then I come and we talking, never so often while we talking, I'm looking at her like, yo, you know what I mean? And she's like, yo, what the fuck? And then she's like, nah, I ain't, you know. And they all like, nah, you can't. I'm like, if I apply that, I bet you would. So, needless to say, life gets very interesting real fast, real quick, right? All right. Here come days to come with jail. I'm in jail. I'm starting to learn, you know, okay, I got to wake up. No, I got to go to sleep. So I go into my room. So in the section is like a square. It's a walkway you come in the section, it's a walkway to the right.
All you guys that don't know, right now they're building an El Salvadorian-ish prison that holds 1,000 people, and there's going to be more than that on the outskirts of Medellin. Right now, it's about a third way done, and it's going to be just like the prison in El Salvador. So when I say sit y'all asses down, and I mean this. When I tell y'all Colombia is not playing, and y'all think this is a game here in South America, and y'all think that El Salvador's prison is a one-off to where you ain't gonna see daylight ever again. I just read the news headline. They're building one right now. I've seen the photos and everything. They're building one right outside of Medellin. Y'all can look it up if you think I'm playing. Look it up. Think I'm playing. Y'all gonna keep on playing with these countries like it's a joke, and you ain't gonna be found. Your people gonna be looking for where you are. You ain't got to worry about your freedom ever again. You ain't got to worry about nothing going on. Yep. Yeah, of course. Definitely. They are serious, man. They're tired of crime happening in Medellin, and they tired of, it's not just a prison for foreigners. I'm not saying that, but they're tired of the crime that's happening around Medellin, so they're going to crack down on that. But that doesn't mean that we can go in there and come, go to Medellin and not get caught up as well. Yeah, I feel you, Observer. I just want to let you guys know. Yeah, I came across that yesterday. But they'll never be able to say, did nobody tell them? They're building that prison right now. It's a third of the way done. I'll probably get some more information on it and share it on the channel.
And a walkway to the left, and it all makes a square. Only the place that you sleep in is covered, but then there's like open grass where there's like clotheslines. So, and then there's washrooms behind our rooms, and then there's bathrooms that's like just a knob that you turn on. Water, and that water is fucking cold as shit. The water falling out. Then there's stalls, and there's no like, you don't flush. It's just a toilet, no bowl. Right. So, but beside it is a pipe, and there's buckets. So we have to maintain those buckets. Like, don't fuck up the bucket. Anyway, you turn the pipe on while you use the bathroom, and then you flush you flush with the bucket. Right? And so you can imagine what that's like. So it's like, I don't know how many of us in this section, but if motherfuckers don't feel like running that water and flushing that, so you can imagine what the stalls is like. And then people would just go in the shower, take their shit if they wanted to. So, but it's cement, and it's just like crackly paint, like on a, I don't know how to describe it, but that's the shower area. So it's shit, and it's piss, and there's the sinks. The sinks are on the ledge of the section. You know, I told you, like, you go right, there's rooms. You go left, there's rooms, and then there's an open area grass. So there's like, but there's these sinks. All right, that's where you're gonna wash your dishes, you're gonna brush your teeth, you're gonna wash your hands. All that is by all of us. We all gonna do that same shit right here in that sink. And we tried, there was two, so we tried to differentiate, or there was tried to be a differentiation of, this is the one you're gonna brush your teeth and wash your hands, this is the one for dishes or whatever. But it was just like, what the fuck. But when you doing all that shit, like, there's rats right there and shit, because you're washing dishes and the food, so the rats are there eating the food, and that's coming off the bowls or the plates. And then you go to the corner, and that's where you're gonna go to the bathroom. You better flush it, and if these nasty bitches ain't flushing it, then you just, well, you gonna shit on top of shit, or what you gonna do? And it's like,
there were rats in the common area. Were there rats in y'all's cells or in your sections?
In our rooms, were there rats? I mean, there could be, maybe occasionally, but no, not necessarily. Not too much was going on in the room for the rats. They were best getting the water and the food coming off of the sink area, because you could see the drainage from the sink, right? It's not, you know how the drainage from the sink and our pipes go through a pipe. We don't know where the fuck that shit go. It goes into oblivion and back into our system. We don't see that. What we see there is the drain from the sink goes into like the gutter system. So all of that is going into the gutter. So yeah, they're feeding off of, and it's going into the gutter, that's leading into whatever. So imagine if you got on your hands and knees and built a jail and started making gutter systems that's going, let's turn that light on right there. That's going to run into the river that's nearby, but you building your trench. So that's what it was like. So our jail was in like a nun's covenant. It used to be a nun's covenant.
Okay.
Where we lived at. So the jail was called El Buen Pastor, and that's what I found out on this sabbatical I took from uploading the video. And I was just like going back and looking at Costa Rica and having nostalgia and all the emotions I went through. It's not called El Buen Pastor anymore. It's called, like, I don't know. It's a new name, but it's El Buen Pastor. It's the only women's prison in Costa Rica. So that means, yeah, if you got locked up and you gotta do time. So you gotta imagine this. I am in jail with every criminal in the country. You understand what I'm trying to say?
How many of y'all were there, do you know?
The population fluctuated. Times you could commit a crime in your little area, and maybe you were quick enough to pay a judge or whatever, and get off for whatever. But if you just there and you got to get sentenced, and say that particular section, when I was there as a newbie, let's say there's probably like in that one section, probably like 150 of us or so, maybe about 100 of us, give or take. That's just that section. And then sentence, that's a whole nother section. Right? So you got the sentence section, that's section C. You got another sentence section, that's section D. Then you got the section of people that's been to jail before and you've committed a crime again and you back again. That's his own section, that's section A. Then you got bitches that got pregnant and you got babies. So your baby can live with you. If you pregnant and have a baby in jail, the baby can live with you until 3 years old. 3 years old, I believe, 3 or 4.
Okay, before she goes into the next section, I want to screen share something with you guys that we were talking about earlier. That's taking place. So let me enlarge this just a little bit. This is what I was talking about here in Colombia that's taking place. Let me move me out of the way. That they're building right outside of Medellin right now. That's just like it will be called order and respect. Now, I've translated this, of course. Construction is progressing in the mega prison in Medellin, inspired by the CCOT model. And we'll just fast forward of the Berkeley prison, or the the Bukele prison in El Salvador. The project will have a capacity maximum for 1,300 prisoners. Now we know that the average prison does not keep its number. So let's look at this, maybe like 3,000 gonna be up in there. The prison will not be managed by the National Penitentiary Prison Institute, which is here in Colombia. Its aim is to strengthen the country's security, control, and reduce extortion or coordinated from within the prison. So this is what they're doing right now here in Colombia. The plan is have it completed by the end of 2027. Go ahead, come on down here to Colombia and play if you want to. Yep. They're serious about this. Serious. Let's go back to the video. Just want to let you guys know, T-Mac says this. He said, I'm packing for my flight back to Colombia mañana. He said, and watching the stream. Need to check my homies Will and Zero. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to you guys. And AMSM said this. He said, Andre, don't forget that some of those countries, the guards don't run the prison. This is true. That's how it is for the most part here in Colombia. Don't run the prison. The inmates run the prison. That's true. And a lot here in Colombia, there's a lot of artillery in the prison. They got guns in the prisons in Colombia. And I'm not talking about the guards. I am not talking about the guards. Let's continue on with the video. Let me take this down and put this up.
Okay, so first question is, what happened to the girl you went with?
Are we going to answer all the questions?
Out of the airport.
Okay. Let's get to what happened to the girl that went with me. All right, so most of, I'm going to tell her story from my interaction because it was a traumatic situation for her. So if ever she decides that she wants to share what it was like for her, she has to do that. But as far as what happened with me, when the man's girl started coming to visit, right? That's how we would communicate, and that's how I found things out. So she came to visit, brought me a letter from Shorty, and that's how we were communicating. So basically outside, she ended up giving the Colombians the drugs, right? The Colombians got the drugs back. They won the struggle of getting these drugs. Not like it was a hardcore physical struggle, but it was like, yo, where these drugs going? They got the drugs back. All right. She ended up staying with the man's girl, right? Let's give the man's girl a name. Let's call her Blondie, because she had blonde curly hair, right? We're gonna call her Blondie, and we're gonna call Shorty
Boricua, what you said in the comments.
Boricua. No, they was talking about Puerto Rico in jail. We're gonna call her Boricua. No, she's Cuban and Puerto Rican or Dominican or something. Cuban. We're gonna call her Cuba. Cubana. We're gonna call her Cubana. Cubana is who I went there with, right? That was my girlfriend at the time. So Cubana was staying with Blondie, right? Blondie is the man's girl. Cubana staying with Blondie from the time that she got picked up on the side of the road. So basically she ran from the airport. They was like, nah, what's going on? Thinking it's a trap, thinking it's a setup. And she's like, all right, listen, I don't know what y'all gonna do, but I ain't staying here. And the whole panic. And she ran off the property, off the airport, down the road, down the highway. And they realized, all right, she not capping, and they picked her up. Now it's who wants the drug, who getting these drugs, we getting it back, all that. Because they've been threatening the man's mother and all of that. So Blondie, she don't typically deal with the whole situation. She just make the connection and all that. It's like, all right, take your drugs back. You know what I mean? I got kids at the crib. I don't deal with that part of it anyway. You know what I mean? So they get the drugs. Cubana is now with.
So the one who got away got kids back in the States. The one that volunteered and said, I will do it, she got kids back in the States. The one that's her girlfriend, the one that's talking, who flew down with her, who she was smashing at that moment, she got kids back in the States. But she's LGBTQ, Dre. This was her girlfriend that's talking, who she flew down with. I know so many LGBTQ women with kids. There are a lot of women that talk about, I only belong to a woman, and got 3-4 kids. This woman flew down, put her life in jeopardy. So now, based off this lady's story, or / dude, the Colombians and the Costa Ricans picked her up off the highway. Well, they decided to let her go with the Colombians. Remember, the Colombian is a couple, a husband and a wife. The wife has been visiting her while she's in prison, and the other girl has been living with the Colombian. So just in case you guys have been able to catch up. So the girl is living with the Colombians the whole time she's in jail.
Blondie, and they scared that they don't know what's going on because she don't have a passport. So this type of situations never happened before. So they're assuming that the law is looking for them. They thinking, you know what I mean? America's most wanted, Costa Rica's most wanted out this joint. So she was like held hidden. She couldn't look out the window. So she was living in her own prison with Blondie. You know what I'm saying? So we couldn't talk on the phone. It was like the phone was tapped. I don't know how they thought the system was that sophisticated. If I told you, they typed out my whole affidavit with the tick, 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 tick. So I know they wasn't tapping no phones, but we don't know. You know what I mean? We thinking, we don't know. Nobody knows because it's never happened before. So she's in her own prison at Blondie's crib up until I got sentenced. Now, remember I told you, at the airport, all her stuff was put on she was taking all her stuff and putting it on the table. So I had her pocketbook, everything out of her pockets. She took a jewelry. I had everything that she had was attached to my case, basically, my situation. So from the time that I was waiting to go to court, get sentenced, we would just send letters through Blondie. And that was our form of communication in that method, because they thought that, she was being looked for, searched for. So we didn't talk on the phone or anything like that. Once I got sentenced, she started coming to visit me. So it was like when coast is clear. Right? Yeah, the coast was clear, and she started coming to visit me. When I got sentenced, so during this time period, at one point in time, they took away my visits. Like, I couldn't visit with the population because they assumed that I was trying to escape. So I remember somebody had asked that question, you ever thought about escaping or something like that, right? I'll answer that in its own question.
Okay, so Mona, only Kia wants to know, can you tell us what OG and them was sentenced? Are they out now, and do y'all keep in touch?
Oh, okay. Their sentences range from 12 years, 10 years. These are the numbers as time started to go down. OG was at like 12 years or something.
So she's telling the amount of time that the ladies that she was in prison with, the other 6 American girls that she met in prison, how much time did they get? Because she got 4 years, but the laws had changed. So the question is, how much did OG and all the other girls who are American women, how much did they get before the laws changed and you were able to get just 4 years? So that's what she's asking her right now. I'll bring that back.
Oh, okay. Their sentences range from 12 years, 10 years. These are the numbers as time started to go down. OG was at like 12 years or something like that. So they were like 12, 10. Harlem was like 8. The average was like in the 6s, 8 to 6. 10s, 8s, and 6s was their averages. I keep in touch with, I'm really close with Harlem. We're like, we're close. We're extremely close. We're like sisters almost, but not sisters. Like, we're just tight. We're cool.
Okay. Well, she stated that when she was in Limon, Costa Rica, they went past the prison and it didn't look livable. And families were outside with food for the prisoners. And she was told that if your family don't bring food, you don't eat.
Now, in a lot of countries, it is like that. If your family does not provide food, when you go to jail, if you don't have anybody bringing you food or bringing you clothes, you don't eat.
Is that true?
That's the crazy part of being locked up out there. If your family didn't take care of you, yeah, you was stuck like Chuck. So basically, you can get what's called a bomba. They call it a bomba. And for us, that translates to bomb. But you can get a bomba.
A bomb?
I guess it's the bomb. You got the bomb. Oh, you got the package. So
like
you
a
could
care
get
package?
Yeah, like we call it a bomba. Yeah. And that translates to bomb. But yeah, your family can leave you a bomba on non-visit days 3 times a day. So they could come bring you breakfast and drop it off at the top of the gate. At the top of, outside the prison, there's a gate. They could drop it off there, morning, lunch, and dinner. So you can get 3 bombas a day. We could order Chinese food if we want it, or like if you could make it work, you could get it done, So when it was the weeks of like the cool security guards, like they could look out for you and you could finagle some Chinese food in and stuff like that. The Chinese people wouldn't typically deliver. It had to work, in a way that was like, you found somebody cool. You have to know what security guard is going to be at the gate that'll take money up with them and go ahead and pay for your Chinese food delivery if you worked it out that way. So yeah, you could get like Chinese food delivered or something like that. Or your family could order Chinese food, have it sent to, I say Chinese food because I was like, I've done it. So I just say that because I know that familiar. We probably could get pizza and all of that kind of stuff. But generally that was like kind of rare, but not impossible because people don't have bread like that to be ordering no Chinese food and all of that stuff. So that was kind of rare, but possible. So your family and the visits now, what what a lot of families would do, or families that I was pretty cool with and close with, they would bring enough food for, like, if they bring enough food for you and your crew, or whatever you asked for, if you had it like that, or if they had it like that. Sometimes we would pool in together and pay, like, my people's family, they come every freaking, like clockwork, every Sunday, every Wednesday, like clockwork. So we would get together money for food, and they would cook enough to last between visits, probably like Saturday, with the exception of like Saturday, but last enough between visits. So you get containers of food brought in. So it was like enough rice, enough beans.
So if you don't get a visit, you don't eat. If nobody bringing that food to you, you don't eat.
Enough, meat, and you just ration it out to last you throughout the days, so to speak. Also, like, because you could get 3 visits, and some of these people had like big families, right? So I didn't get visits, so I just would like give my visit away to somebody, or somebody like make a deal with me for my visit. Well, typically if I was in a relationship, yeah, they would get my visit, but they get to use my name to bring in more family. I just wouldn't go out, but then when they come back, they got gifts for me, and food and stuff like that. Like, yeah, this for you, thanks for letting my extra family come in. That's a big deal, because Costa Rica is a very family oriented country. Like, it's just like that. They Latin community, you know how that go. They real family oriented. So they want the whole family to come visit. So they would use our names to bring in, extra people. And if we felt like going out, we'd go out just to get out of the atmosphere and see what it's like. But yeah, your family definitely had to take care of you if you were going to be the best taken care of. Or you got to get your hustle on inside there, some sort of way.
So when you first got to jail, did they haze you?
No, I did the hazing. No, no, that's not a thing. Hazing and like when you coming in, like how we see on TV, and they out the bar, oh, fresh meat. Mm-hmm. So it's like you're here to yell, like, oh, fresh, but there's no bars. It's like a community. It's like summer camp almost. So you walking amongst everybody. And, the crackheads be yelling, oh, we got a new person, because everybody won't come out the section. But yeah, that's a big deal. Oh, we got a new American. And they definitely, make sure we knew, oh, you didn't come to the Americans. You got American. Or if it wasn't an American, because we had other nationalities, like Germans. We had this chick, she was off the chain from Australia, and she did try to escape. And I think that's probably why I got red flagged, because we were together a lot. And I knew that she was escaping that night, or making her grand attempt. So maybe I got caught up in that and got my visits blocked because of my relationship with her. But yeah, so the crackheads will yell or let us know. They'll call anybody that don't look like them, or that look, they call them gringas, or gringas, foreign. Anybody that look foreign, like European, white, or anything like that, Americans, but it was really like a German, Australian, or something like that. But yeah, there's no hazing. The most hazing that happens, there's no hazing. The most hazing is if you find you getting hit on, and that's period. So yeah, that was my thing.
Okay. So the last question is, so Dominique wants to know.
Now remember, they took her strap on when she went into prison. Now we're about to hear while she was in prison, the cucumber escapade.
She said, wait, rewind. We want to go down that rabbit hole. That lesbian rabbit hole with you.
This is gonna be the segment. I was gonna make a segment. I want to tell the story in part so much. When I sit back and think about the experience, of course, it's 4 years. I was in Costa Rica for 4 years and 3 months. So of course the experience is like vast. I can go in multiple areas. What was the food like? What was like? Give me a day in the life. You wake up, you know. All right, so let's go down this rabbit hole for just a second. So she's talking about the fact when I talked about not having a strap, right? So when you're like, I'm a creator, like, period, by nature, and as a lesbian, I had a thing. I wouldn't, you know, I didn't want to put my mouth on things. Random things, especially the level of running through chicks I was doing, and I didn't really want to put my mouth on them. I was like that outside. I didn't want to put my mouth on people's private parts unless we were like in a relationship type thing. So not having a strap was like mind-boggling. It was just like uncomfortable and difficult because because of that. So I had to make one. So this is the story of how I want to tell you how and why cucumbers got banned from the jail. So when your family bring food, right, they could bring you food, but it can't be raw. The only people that can get raw food is Casa Cuna, which is where the babies are and the pregnant women. They can get eggs and raw food because they have a stove and they can cook. But us, our food has to be cooked. Our food has to be cooked. We could get like one apple. We couldn't get a lot of fruit because you can make chicha, which is liquor, you know, and we used to make liquor. But so we could, there were certain things we couldn't get. So when it came to cucumbers, I used to get them from the kitchen lady. And now she wasn't a prisoner. She was like the head of the kitchen lady. She was mean as hell, but she just liked me. And everybody that was mean or whatever, they took a liking to Americans. Like I said, it's a third world country. They think we're rich. So she felt like getting in with the Americans, you know, maybe we're going to be sent something and she'll be the pickup person type thing. Because she did play me on a situation. But anyway, she used to give me cucumbers because I came up with this grand idea. Now, when you're in jail, you ain't got nothing to do. You're going to come up with all kinds of stuff, especially if you're creative. Like, I did a lot of creative things in there. This one particular thing I did, I made me a strap. So I used to have these one pair of...
Yeah, she said it. She's in prison, getting cucumbers from the kitchen and making a strap.
Like red, tight red panties, right? They was like supposed to be my period panties. But and they was like a good, strong, sturdy material. They was like really good period panties. My favorite panties if I was on my period, right? Okay. What I did was, all right, you have to understand why I have access to these things. I get the cucumber from the kitchen, okay? We have there, different people have stores. So like my people's E, she had a store where she sold clothes and made clothes. I actually gave her a pair of boxers and she made boxers because, God, I could go down this rabbit hole.
You gave her boxers and she made boxers?
Right, I gave her because I used to wear my pants sagging all the time and they didn't dress like that or wear they, so you would see my boxers, right? But they didn't wear boxers, they wore panties. The boys, the tomboy, they wore panties.
So she cut up your boxers and made a different
So she wanted to make, she knew that people were going to want it.
A sample.
Right, so I gave her my drawers, she made a sample and then she just started making them for me. So I used to get my drawers from her. She was the bomb. That was my people's. Anyway, so that's where the access to thread, needle and thread came from, right? But it wasn't like, and I knew, see, oh my God. All right. I knew the type of thread I needed. So they have like, they call them talleres. Yeah, little workstations and stores type thing. So she had her own shop where she made clothes. Her mom had her own shop where she made like pillows and teddy bears and stuff like that. Then you had places that made like Kamba, which is like arts and crafts type things, because we would buy them and take them out on a visit and sell them during the visit. Or, you know, they'll take them out on a visit, sell them during the visit. Or if you a prisoner, you know, you would buy them and give them gifts to your family when they come to visit. You know what I mean? Just whatever. So I had access to thread. But because when I was a kid, I used to design my own pants with what you call that thread? It's thick embroidery floss. I used to design my pants with embroidery floss. I came up with the idea of if I could attach the cucumber to the panties with embroidery floss because it's strong, I could make a strap. I came up with the idea of if I could attach the cucumber to the panties with embroidery floss because it's strong, I can make a strap. Okay, so what I did was this is just a mess. I got the cucumbers, right? I had to try this thing out because it was in my brain. So I kept this to myself. I was just in my own little world. Got me a few cucumbers and I started practicing. What I did was a tuna fish can, because we can have tuna fish. Don't ask me why some things we can have, some things we can't. Well, the tuna fish can, I used to love, oh my God, the tuna fish, they had some of the best tuna fish. I'd be at the grocery store. I ever mentioned that I'm looking for a particular type, but they don't make them like that. But well, they just started. You know that I get excited, right? Mm-hmm. All right. The tuna fishes in the pack, them selects ones, you know, remember the ones that they got now? And they got different flavors and all kinds of things like that. Well, they used to have all kinds of different tuna fishes, with jalapenos in them and vegetables. Look, so I used to get those, right? So I used to get them. So I came up with the idea of how I'm gonna get a knife, because we can't have a knife. So I used the can top of the tuna fish to carve a penis out of the cucumber. So listen, right? So now I peel the I got the thing, right? The top of the tuna fish can. So you know the song, there's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza, don't mend it, dear. You know that song?
No.
What?
I don't know it.
Oh, well, what should I mend it, dear Liza, right? So at some point in the song, she's like, he says, the straw is too long, dear Liza. Well, cut it, dear Willie, you silly, cut it. Well, what should I cut it? Well, the knife is too dull. Well, sharpen it. What should I sharpen it with? A stone. So I'm like, I need this sharpened. So I started scraping it on the thing, on the cement, because everything was cement. The whole entire place was cement. So I started sharpening, I got my knife. Now I'm carving an actual penis. So the hard part of the cucumber, right? I had to leave that solid so that when I sewed into it, right, and I had my pattern, I'll go diagonal. So I had to leave enough.
You took the skin off?
Yeah, I carved the skin, but I left
the skin off the cucumber?
Not so. The first one was too deep, so I had to go lightly to keep it still firm, because you know if you go too deep, it gets soft and exposed and be flimsy. So I had to go just the edges of I worked on this thing, girl. Let me tell you something. And the top part was the head. So I left green and carved me a head of the cucumber, and I saw it looked like it had veins, all that. Then the bottom part, I left that too, so that I could sew through it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what kept it in place. And then, so they have conjugal, right? So you can have conjugal visits, and we have a clinic. You can have conjugal visits, like if you're married, well, your person could come once a week, and then the people that had men in jail, they could go visit their man in jail every 2 weeks, right? So condoms was nothing to get. So I got me some condoms from, you know, some peoples, and put the condom on. And I need to try this thing out, right? So this one chick, she looked like J-Lo. She had me stuck on stupid, right? She was a crackhead J-Lo, and I ain't even gonna care. We're gonna call her crackhead J-Lo or J-Lo. She was a dead-ass crackhead J-Lo. She was fine, but you could tell if somebody loved on her, like they loved on J-Lo, she'd have been. So I learned a lot from her. But anyway, remember I told you I had somebody name tatted, and she did voodoo on me? Well, anyway, tried it on her first. It worked. It was crazy. So it worked, all right? So now word is getting around. Oh, she effed me. I'm like, why would you tell somebody that I smashed you with a freaking cucumber? She's not the only one though. So this one time I was doing it with this one chick, and it broke, right? But it was okay because it was in a condom. So I got to pull it out.
And scene. Because what the I got nothing now.
I told y'all this story. Wow.
Any more questions?
No. That was
I got stories for days.
Yeah.
I'll tell them all. It's just, I know it be taking me time. I'm sorry. You see how I get back in there and I go relive. So reliving it every time, I just be a little taxing on my soul. But I'm gonna get it all out for real. I'm committed. When people say I'm invested, I'm committed to the story. I'm gonna get it all out. I be in my head a lot. I want to tell it in parts and stages, because now I'm in jail. It's like, all right, where do I go from here? Oh, tell them the story about how cucumbers got banned, or tell them about the time, like, you know what I mean? So many remember the times. Oh my God, so much. Like, there's a lot to tell, and I have to break it down. Like, it gets overwhelming in my head to even bring the story out now that I'm there.
All right, and that is the end. That's probably one of the wildest ones that we've played on the channel so far. And notice, she was 18, 19 years old when this was going on. She wasn't the age that she is now. She was 18, 19 years old. Locked up in Costa Rica 4 years, and drug smuggling with Colombians. And when she said that she used to wear her strap on almost all the time, and they took her strap on, not at the airport. They took the drug. That's the crazy part. They took the drugs from her from the airport, but they didn't take her strap on. They took her strap on in the jail, and when she checked into prison. She don't look that much like a man. Will said this chick is telling the story like being in prison was the best time of her life. I guess being LGBTQ, being in prison is the place to be. Shout out to Black Nubian in the building, the Canadian boys.
I told this guy where I was from. He said, "Oh, Canada."
Shout out to the Canadian men. Yeah, this story is wild. I told you guys it's gonna be a wild one. Told you it's gonna be a wild one, man. Well, we've been here almost over 3 hours. I knew it was gonna be a lengthy video. Glad to see you guys here. I had to share this with somebody. Had to be you guys. So as for the Passport Sisters, they taking L's back to back to back to back L's. And don't forget, this month is the sentencing month for those 2 young ladies that got caught up in Jamaica with the drug deal. Remember the tennis shoes? They had the drugs in the bottom of the tennis shoes, and they had 8 pair that they were taking back to UK. And they got caught, and the least that they're looking at is 6 years. So they know they're going to be in prison for at least 6 years. They better hope they get the least. And they get sentenced this month, so we'll be able to give you an update on that. Tomorrow, we're going to do an update on Floyd Wallace Jr. and his arrest and his charges that have been revealed in Brazil, in Rio. So we're going to talk about Floyd, and we got some other things we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow they've given us some updated information on Floyd and what he's been actually charged with, what's going on, how much time is he looking at. So we're going to look at all those things tomorrow, including some other things. But we'll come into the show talking about Floyd Wallace. Yep. Zeta says Passport Sisters can't say nothing else about men traveling after the stories that every time they got a story, it's always wild. We've been hearing about them, bunch of hypocrites. Absolutely correct. Yeah, failures. These bras out here drug smuggling or drug struggling, not smuggling, struggling. Let me let you gentlemen go. Thank you guys for supporting by way of PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chats. We appreciate you guys. And thank you for your keeping Andrea in your prayers. She's getting better. I talked to her today. So she's getting a lot better. And she said she appreciates you guys praying for her. So I'm going to let you guys go, and I'll be seeing you guys mañana. Let's do us an outro video. This was a wild one. This was a wild one. Here we go. Here.
This ain't a Beamer, this a big Benz. Chrome heart got me kissing on his best friend. Put in work, baby, you could be my best man. Sending cash to my account, he investing. Dark shades on when I'm off the Migos. He tryna cuff me like a in a Rico. Moving through the like GTA with a cheat code. He claimed that he love me, but before not a freak. I just wanna dance all night. Can't nobody do it just like I. Boy, you got just what I like. Come on, baby, let's kiss, don't fight. What you wanna do? Tell me what you like. What you wanna do? Tell me what you like. What you wanna do? Tell me what you like. Just say the word, baby, I'ma get you right. What you wanna do? Tell me what you like. What you wanna do? Tell me what you like. What you wanna do? Tell me what you like. Ain't gotta say it, I know I'm the one you like. Ooh, damn, so the DJ turn the beat up. Got a white boy who be singing like a Beatle. Claim she getting bread, but I heard she doing keto. I don't do drugs, I'ma smoke a little weed up. I can't chase a man for no paper. I just think it's sweet, I'ma show him now or later. I be getting money on the wake up. He a broke boy, tell that bitch get his cake up. Only with dope boys, they the ones who spinning paper, get your weight up. Told him send an Addy and to stay up. Out here mad, told him assalamu alaikum. Who that bitch 5'5", she don't even need no makeup. What you wanna do? Tell me what you like. What you wanna do? Tell me what you like. What you wanna do? Tell me what you like. Just say the word, baby, I'ma get you right. What you wanna do? Tell me what you like. What